Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Artman Boxing, and we're back with another boxing conversation. Today's topic is Archer Beterbiev versus Marcus Brown. Where's the promo for it? Not that much, and I think I know why. But we gonna wait till my people get in here before we start cooking. But shout out to everybody in the chat already. My dude said salute, smash the like button, salute, hell yeah. What's up? No, what's up with you, man? And Karma 25 cent T. She says cheetah. Yep, and that's how we rock it, man. That's how the hell we rock it. Let me go ahead and drop the link in the chat for my brother to hop on so we can talk about this up and coming light heavyweight clash. Oh yeah, it's a title match for two belts, the IBF and the WBC, the red and the green. And I'm ready for it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for this fight. This is one of those fights that I've been waiting on for quite some time. As soon as I seen it was announced, I was like, oh, ish. Oh, ish. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be it right here for sure. Because one thing about me, I understand that styles make fights. And the styles that these guys possessed is it's going to be fireworks. Most definitely. But yeah. So one thing I noticed today is watching the weigh-in. It's not that much press, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, for this to be a top ranked event, I'm not surprised that it's not getting this amount of press, but it's like you guys labeled this guy as one of the top 10 best fighters in the world. I remember people try to argue me down because I didn't have better beef in my motherfucking pound for pound list. Now here we are today, where the guy got a fight up coming up, and hardly anybody even know it. But me being a boxing fan, boxing supporter, I see this shit coming. So I'm here for it. Let me go ahead and send this link out, let everybody know we are here live. But yeah, you would think that this is the last fight for this guy at top rank. The fuck? Because they ain't promoting this shit. I feel like and that's the crazy thing, man. I'm starting to feel like I've been promoting a lot of these fights more than their own promotional team. It's like they're trying to save some money or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if this is his last fight on that company, but I don't know, man. No, real shit. Real fucking shit. But one thing I did post though, I said I see y'all flip flopping. I see a lot of people switching it up, saying things like, "Oh nah, man, I ain't like the way Beterbiev looked in the weigh-in, man. I ain't like the way he looked in the weigh-in." Yeah, of course you ain't like the way he looked in that weigh-in, dude. Look at him, 175.2. Per IBF rules, you can't do that. Mm-mm. So they giving that man 2 hours to go out and lose that weight. Yeah, y'all hit that like button straight up. Nah, real shit. He went in there, and what's funny to me is, I can see. Let me see if I can play that way in without getting the copyright strike or something. But in the way in, he goes in there. First of all, let's talk about our brother Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown went in that motherfucker looking like tip top shape. I said, wow, he looked like that's the champion. He went in there stacked, ripped. Stepped on that scale, 174. That man's ready. No ifs, ands, or but. That man is ready. Beterbiev, the champion, goes in there, steps on that scale. They looking, they checking it, trying to make sure things is right. That should say 175.2. Oh no, man. Where's the discipline? You weight bully. Yeah, you see now, if we start talking like that, then it's a problem. But nah, real shit. Why are you the champion? You knew you were gonna have to fight Marcus Browne a while ago. Why are you coming into this fight unprepared? Why are you coming into this fight weight drained? Or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, why are you coming into this fight not on weight? So the man goes in, he has 2 hours to do this and that. He probably took a shit, probably ran on the treadmill a little bit, jump rope, all that, all unnecessary shit just to lose that weight. And now he's at the 175 limit. But my thing is, how much of that is going to affect him tomorrow? That stuff, type of stuff right there, has people talking on Twitter right now, saying things like, "Oh, I don't know about Beterbiev doing that. I don't know. This is kind of weird. I ain't never really." Yeah, when you get to a certain age, man, it's gonna be hard for you to drop that weight just like that, dude. Beterbiev's a family man. I wouldn't be surprised if that dude was at home eating whatever with his fam. I wouldn't be surprised. But now, he may wait 175 even, and he's here. But it makes me think about the last champion that had all the hype around him. When he made the weight even, after struggling with the weight, see what happened to him. And that person I'm talking about is Teofimo Lopez. So, and the conversation is kind of much the same, man. I'm hearing people saying things like, "Oh, Browne don't got no chance. He's chinny. He lost to Pascal. Better be hit harder than Pascal. This, and that." But I'm like, dude, timing is everything. You see where we at right now. You just seen a guy that you know for sure is a monster. He's a killer. This and that. You just seen him go in there and miss weight. Maybe it's the timing. Maybe he's at the end of his road because the man is what, 37 years old. And then talk about amateur fights. The amateur fights take a lot of wear and tear on you. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy goes into that fight tomorrow looking sluggish, slow, get outboxed and resort to rabbit punching and get hit try to hit Marcus Browne in the back of the head, all types of wild shit, just to only lose that fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the high guard all night while Marcus Browne is taking it to him. The only fear that anybody has about this fight is Marcus Browne getting caught. Now, if he doesn't get caught, what happens with this fight? What happens with this fight? The guy is going to get outboxed because I posted on Twitter. I said, do y'all honestly believe that Beterbiev is a better boxer than the slick Southpaw American boxer? The American Olympian at that? No, you don't think that. So you know what's going to happen if he can't land that crazy left hand. He said he's 37. No, that's down bad. He might get whooped on struggling to make that weight. He's 37. But shout out to my brother D High. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? How you doing?
How you
It's crazy. It's
how you
crazy
feeling
because
right now about Mr. Weight Bully Beterbiev coming in
well, no,
a
I
couple
mean,
pounds overweight?
even from the beginning when the fight got announced, I always thought that it was a little bit disrespectful that Beterbiev was the clear favorite. Like everyone was like, "Oh, Brown's gonna get slaughtered," and I'm like, "When the fuck has Brown ever been slaughtered?" Like Brown, and then people keep talking about Gvozdyk, and I'm like, and again, you just talking about this one win to make Beterbiev look good. The truth of the matter is,
And Gvozdyk
Gvozdyk.
don't even fight nothing like Marcus Browne. If anything, and people gonna hate this, they gonna hate it. But Marcus Browne got a better resume than Gvozdyk, and I think he's a way better fighter. But
Literally,
go ahead.
no, literally, and Brown got a better resume than Beterbiev because Gvozdyk is the only dude he beat. So you want to talk about like I always say that Brown got wins over Badu Jack, Top Dog Williams, and Lennon Castillo, who Callum Smith just got all this credit for knocking out in 2 rounds. So all the people you talking about now, Brown been done fought already. Not to mention Badu Jack beat way better people and got a draw with a younger version of Adonis Stevenson before he was fucking 40. So people talking all this stuff, but I'm not saying Beterbiev is a bad fighter, but he's the triple G of 175. He gets all this credit for doing nothing. Like, oh, he's a KO machine because he has 16 fights. I'm like, right. He only has 16 fights. Have you not seen Lomachenko's career? You talking about this amateur bullshit? It's clear that doesn't matter. It's blatantly clear that doesn't matter. Because if we were rating people based on their amateur careers, Tiafimo would be a bum. Devin Haney will be a bum. Orlando Salido will be a bum. Canelo Alvarez will be a bum, but they're not. So all this talk about gold medals and shit, cut it out. If you want to hype up a dude because you want to hype them up, then just say that. Don't try to hit us with bullshit talking about the 2 gold medals. Clarissa Shields has 2 gold medals, bro, and she don't get her ass eaten every day for it.
Exactly. What would you rather be? Would you rather be very experienced in the pros or very experienced in the amateurs?
Shit, pros, because I'm getting paper. Amateur, you don't get compensated for that bullshit. That's why when they talk about putting it from the Olympics, I'm like, cool. That just means we're gonna get more talent to turn pro quicker instead of bullshitting around.
Exactly. And I told people when what's his name beat Keyshawn Davis, I told people, I said, man, I don't give a fuck because Keyshawn Davis is gonna be a fucking monster in the pros, and where this guy gonna be at?
Exactly. I tell people all the time, like, bro, Sean Porter beat Usyk in the amateurs. That's why you don't talk about the fucking amateurs. You look stupid. Like, what are we talking about? Usyk versus Sean Porter right now. Who you think will fucking win, bro? Exactly. That's why we don't talk about the amateurs.
Yeah, let's talk. Since y'all want to talk about the amateurs, Anthony Joshua couldn't beat a guy that Sean Porter beat.
Literally. And Anthony Joshua has a better amateur record than Sean Porter. So what are we doing here?
So what are we saying here?
Exactly. People just say that. I'm like, bro, every Russian in the world has a bomb ass amateur background that has not stopped them from getting beat up. Klitschko got stopped by 3 fucking bums. Like, stop it. Fucking stop it. Now, I'm not saying that Beterbiev can't win. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be the blowout everyone says it is. Now, if Browne goes in there lazy, keeping his left hand down, yeah, he might get slept. But if he's on his game, he's on his jab, and he does the things that he's supposed to do, goes to the body early. I mean, shit, he has the potential to potentially even put Beterbiev down because he's been dropped. His chin isn't steel.
What my dude Hustles Hope just said these European boxers don't do well on the back foot. That's why they get exposed with intelligent pressure, and that
Yeah,
is 100% true.
yeah.
And that's why I picked. Look, I can see if it was, dude. If you would have said Badu Jack versus Beterbiev, I would have told you Beterbiev was going to win because Badu Jack doesn't possess the styles that Marcus Browne have. You know what I'm saying? What's the name? Jack would have came in there with a high guard too.
I mean,
And
you
if you
you
guys go back and rewatch Jack versus Browne, I love that fight because I'm like, dude, minus the cut. I'm just looking at the beautiful boxing from Browne while Jack decided to walk him down in a high guard. I love that because you leave yourself exposed to get ate up in the body and hit with fucking overhands across the motherfucker your guard.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of European fighters be able to box well off the back foot. That's absolutely true. But I mean, and the only person I've seen do it reasonably well is fucking Triple G. And then again, Triple G was fighting he was fighting Canelo. Canelo's already scared of his power. He may or may not have been off the juice. We don't really know. So that's just one scenario. But yeah, no, for the most part, you're right. But they never go to these dudes' bodies. Like, why do you think that all of a sudden Zurdo Ramirez want to fight Bivol and they've been chilling in the same division for X amount of time? Because he saw the Craig Richards fight. Because all Bivol does is the high guard and he leaves his liver exposed. That's why all of a sudden Zurdo wants to fight Bivol real bad.
You trying
Because
to
they
kill him.
yeah, because they've been there for a while. But Zurdo ain't been on his ass until like the last year and a half for some reason. It's like, yeah, because you saw some vulnerability there.
So
Before wasn't nobody just rushing at Bivol like that.
damn, hold
Yeah, I agree. Bragging about an amateur career is equivalent to a
on. My
master
bad.
chef.
Somebody called me.
No,
Um,
it's all good.
but I was saying, damn, what the fuck was I saying? I hate when people interrupt my train of thought.
You were
Um,
talking about them being vulnerable to the body and not being able
yeah,
to box
okay.
well off
So
the
I
back foot.
rewatched the fight, right? Botchstick versus Beterbiev.
Right.
And you're right, D-Hive. When the better beef was starting to get tagged on and touched up, he started rabbit punching, and in the clinch, he started big. As soon as they break out the clinch, they start throwing a punch. Oh
Yeah.
man, hold on.
Is what they do. I mean, you saw that firsthand with the Butayev fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoops. Hold on. Whoops. Hold on. Somebody's texting me.
that's all good. But yeah, no, you witnessed that firsthand with the Butayev situation. That's what they do. That's what they do. And it's not even exclusive to Eastern Europeans. Like if you watch on DAZN, they got this new welterweight, Florian Marku. They've been moving up for a few years. He does the same shit. Shit. Liam Smith will do it every now and then. So it's just a common thing when you get in that box, you start hitting whatever you can behind the head just to get them off you.
But one thing I noticed about that fight, I kept on saying it while watching it. I said, dude, Vochnik, you fuck. I knew you were gonna lose the fight. Rewatching it in the first 10 seconds, because immediately he started to show Beterbiev way too much respect. I said, oh Lord. He goes in there, tries to jab, and then he's backing up, and he's just, what I'm saying, like not trying to take it to him. And I get it. You don't want to get caught. You want to do the fill out process. But with a guy like Beterbiev, if you just jump on him, that's gonna fuck him up. Not saying you gotta be reckless and go in there and just do something stupid, but I'm saying like intelligent pressure. Jab him, work that body, pivot out, jab, work that body, pivot out, but just keep on bringing it to him. When Vochnik realized that, oh shit, the right hand to the stomach is always there, that's when he started to throw those punches. But Beterbiev resulted in wrestling and punch him in the back of the head and shit
Yep.
like that.
And the thing
That
is
he was
also,
scared of Artur Beterbiev. Yeah, he was scared
yeah,
until he started tagging him, and then when he started getting hit flush with them crazy ass hooks, because the ref don't give a fuck. It didn't matter, and it was over. And fucking, he was already concussed, and Teddy Atlas did a terrible job just screaming at him because he didn't give him no type of real advice on how to beat this guy.
yeah, there was no corrective measures from the corner. But the thing that bothers me most is that they're like he did the straight right to the body. I understand you need to throw stuff up the middle when you're dealing with a high guard, but I wouldn't have recommended the straight right because number one, there's too much damage. I mean, there's not enough damage on it. And number two, you're not getting enough pop on it because you have to fully extend yourself and leave your head open for hooks. You need to throw the uppercut up the middle, hit that first, and then shoot the left hook to the body right after. A lot of Mexican fighters do that. Look at Virgil Ortiz Jr. He does that all the time. That's the combo you need to do on a person like Beterbiev. That's the kind of intelligent pressure.
What combo you just said? Go ahead and say it one more time.
I said the rear uppercut right up the middle, and then the left hook right to the body. That's a very common from the Mexican school
Canelo
of
does
boxing.
that.
They all do it.
Canelo does that. We go and then you dip real low to the left. Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel what you're saying.
They all do it. It's
My
that's
thing
from the
is,
Mexican school.
I say, not saying that that's a bad idea, but one thing I would put into that is set it up with a jab first. If I was to fight Beterbiev, I know he's going to do that high guard. So I'll do a little bit of what Shakur Stevenson does. Well, basically blind him with the jab, pop him to the stomach. And his immediate reaction is going to be a crazy ass left hook. And you're going to be out the way by the time he throws that shit, and it's going to make him look stupid. And that's a good way to counter him where he's not going to be able to make you look, vulnerable, trying to fight him in the inside and try to fight his style.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely set up everything off the jab, and definitely
Yes, set everything up off the jab.
and definitely do because the combo that I just named is from the Mexican school, but setting everything up off the jab is from the American school of boxing. And also another thing is, when Devin Haney was fighting Linares and he would just do an uppercut and then immediately roll under into either a left hook or just pivot out the way, do that all fight. All
Okay.
fight.
Okay, you see, and this is why I put it on on Twitter when I said, hey, a good idea is to know how to box before you start talking boxing, because it can help you learn certain situations or help teach situations here. Because it's like, dude, think about it. Some of these dudes don't know what these punches are, the name of the punches. They don't know how to punch like that. So how can you even predict a fight if you don't really know too much about that?
Right. They don't even know what a 1-2 is. Like a
Mm,
1-2, everybody knows is a jab and a cross. But
exactly.
most of these dudes, if you put it on a piece of paper, they wouldn't even be able to tell you the six punches of boxing. What are the six fundamental punches of boxing? They wouldn't even be able to tell you.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, but they'll tell you, oh well, he's a bum. He's a bum. You don't know what a bum is. You don't know what a bum is. What is a bum to you? Oh, just because I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Just because fucking Max Kellerman ain't talking about him.
And it's funny too because people think that we hate on fucking European fighters. Like, no, Bivol is like the Errol Spence of 175. He been doing all the fucking work, but Bivol gets the most disrespect. Make it make sense. Bivol fought Barrera, Pascal, shit. I'm blanking on Bivol's. Joe Smith Jr.
Yep.
He fought Joe Smith Jr., who is currently a champion now, and he fought Isaac Chalemba, Castillo, Craig Richards, like Cedric Agnew. Like he's actually been putting in fucking
But
work.
why didn't want to unify with Beterbiev?
I have no fucking idea. He talking about doing it now because Zerto Ramirez is coming for his ass. So he's like,
Mm,
shit, I better fight Beterbiev all of a sudden when he old because I might fuck
mm,
around and catch one.
mm. I honestly think Beterbiev is gonna do uh, literally of nothing in that fight tomorrow, besides get frustrated.
The thing,
If
oh good.
if Marcus Brown stick to the game plan, my guy Midwest Boxing, he said, "Oh, Beterbiev is gonna get no. Marcus Brown is gonna get knocked out based off of him training with Derek James." What do you think about that statement?
Well, first of all, even if like I don't think that the coach. I'm not saying that coaching doesn't matter, but saying that he's going to get knocked out because of a specific coach is goofy. Because I get asked Midwest, which coaches do you think are good, and then point to somebody who's been laid the fuck out. So it's like, I mean, unless we're talking about like I don't know, fucking Floyd Mayweather Senior. But even then, he coached Oscar De La Hoya, and he's been knocked out. So it's like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
So I could ask that about any fucking coach. Like which coaches do you think are good?
Do you think Derek James came up with a game plan to beat um, Better Beef, or you think he just fine tuned Marcus Brown, like sharpen him up,
I'm
just go basically just
assuming
go out there?
I'm assuming that they did both because most people don't realize that they talk about Isaac Brown outside of the ring. Isaac Brown had a fight before this. He
Hmm.
had a fight, and I believe he fought a Russian dude who is an unknown for the most part. But that was supposed to be like a little tester for Beterbiev, I assume. Now, I'm not saying the guy hits like Beterbiev, but it was just to get used to that cagey Russian style, which Beterbiev brings to the table. Most people don't know that. So he's had a fight to prepare him for this and work with Derek James some. People think, oh, he going in with Derek James fresh. And it's like, no, they this has been the goal for a little bit. So they're not going in there just, off some random shit.
Yeah, he said, but I've been reading the articles and they'll say things like, you know, he just linked up with him because of Errol Spence missing the Manny Pacquiao fight and Charlo not having a fight right now.
Doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
When did Brown become trash? I'm trying to figure out. He had one technical decision loss. When did he become trash? Lomachenko has two entire fucking L's, and he's trained by his dad. When did Marcus Brown become trash? I'm trying to figure it out. Somebody want to tell me?
Yeah. So he does give good advice. And one thing I liked about the interviews from Derek Brown is that he says things like, I'm paraphrasing, but he says he knows Derek Brown, he knows Derek James. He knows that Marcus Brown is going to win because he's going to follow his instructions.
Yeah,
And
and
I like that
also
because I feel like Marcus Brown is a veteran boxer and he's not some goofy. And I feel like he's actually going to listen to Derrick James' instructions.
And also, one thing people got to realize is that Derrick James was a former professional boxer, y'all. Like he has like I think 21 wins, but he has like 7 losses. So if his speech is slurred a little bit, or he sounds a little bit, like slower in the corner, it's because he's been through some shit. It's not because he's some stupid ass person who hasn't been doing it. Like, no, he's a former professional boxer. All
Mm.
right, so like he's up there with the Mark Brelands and the Freddie Roaches and the shit like that. So he's actually been in the shit.
Shit, but when he get the three unified champions, he's gonna be above them niggas.
Yeah, he's not gonna get no respect though. You know how it is.
Exactly.
He's not gonna get no respect.
He said, but Beterbiev hits hard as fuck though.
That's
Yeah,
that's facts.
yeah, he does. But I said this and people disagree with me, but that's fine. It's just my opinion. I feel like Beterbiev, all his power really comes from throwing hooks. I don't feel like his power really comes from throwing like straight right hands. You know what I'm saying? And jabs.
His
I think it
jab is
comes from
very
like throwing
strong.
awkward European style uppercuts and like Triple G, you know what I'm saying? Punch you in the top of the dome and shit. Shit like that. I feel like that's where the power comes from.
I'll say that his jab is very strong. That's one of the things in the former Soviet school they emphasize the jab a lot. So his jab is very strong, even though he doesn't throw it as often as others because he relies on his power. But other than that, you're absolutely right. A lot of his and the thing is again, a lot of his hooks cuff behind the fucking head. It's to hit you right behind the ear so it knocks off your equilibrium. Is shit. If y'all watch the Ugas versus Abel Ramos and Ugas versus Omar Figueroa, no disrespect to Ugas, but you notice that Ugas, when he threw his hooks, he would like pronate his wrists to where the hook would cuff damn near behind the ear. Beterbiev does the same shit. He tries to cuff you right behind the ear to knock off your equilibrium if he can't get a temple shot behind your guard to get you wobble so he can finish you. Like literally, when he's showing Gvozdyk highlights, you see him rabbit punch him behind the fucking head. You see it. And people are like, oh, it was legal. I'm like, no, the ref didn't call it. Doesn't mean it wasn't legal. Kind of like low blows.
So, what do you think about Beterbiev's boxing IQ?
He's a very talented boxer. He has that amateur schooling. One thing that's unique about Beterbiev, why people think that he's such a threat for Canelo, because he doesn't forget the body. Bivol forgets the body a lot. I'll just keep it a buck. Bivol hardly goes to the body. But fighters like Stanionis and Beterbiev look more dangerous and are more dangerous because they don't forget the body. Now he'll do headshots when he thinks that you're wounded or when you have your high guard up. But if you leave your high guard up too long, he'll throw that left in there and then come up top with a counter left hook. So I think his boxing IQ is solid, but he's not good at chasing moving targets. People talking about Browne gonna get smoked in like 5 rounds. His last guy, Deans or whatever, he went 10, and ain't nobody heard of that motherfucker. So it's like
Wait, that last dude he fought, they went all 10 rounds and he knocked him out in the last round, right?
it was a 12 rounder because
12 round, man.
it's a title fight because Beterbiev was a champ. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it was a 12 rounder.
I'm over here looking up with the time Beterbiev got dropped.
He got dropped on 2 occasions: one versus Callum Johnson, one versus a Campillo.
I see one named Jage Pef Jr.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Yeah, they say he got dropped by a dude named Jeff Page Jr.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right. It's Jeff. Yeah, it's Jeff Page Jr. and Callum Johnson.
Oh,
Two
boy.
two fucking
To credit
club
to
level
him, it was a
fighters.
while ago, but I don't know if the way he got. I don't know if it's because he got if it was because he was off balance. That straight was just hurt. Let me see. Let me show y'all real quick. Hold on, y'all.
Yeah. And
This
and
is
the
not
thing
for
is,
this is not for sale. This is just for promotional use only. Okay, check this out. Yeah. So right here.
blah, Bing. Yeah, caught a right hook. He was a little off balance, but still got him.
Nah, he hit him with a straight right.
Boom. No, I just
Straight right.
mean Beterbiev was leaned over a little bit already, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
still
was thinking.
still got
Was
him.
it, you think it was more of the balance, or do you think it
No,
was
no, it was the punch for sure, but I'm saying that him being off balance helped a little bit. But
okay?
either way, that's a round in the bank. Like you need to take those opportunities to get the rounds in your favor, because again, this is a top rank card, and Beterbiev is a unified champion, and top rank just lost 3 belts, so you know it's gonna be some fuckery.
Now this shit right here though.
Oh yeah, this was clean as fuck. Straight up, I believe it was a looping left or right. I forgot which one. Oh yeah, the left one. Yep, looping
Looping.
left, dead on the chin. He was in because he's one of those people who's like, no, ain't nobody got power but me. And then bop, surprise.
Mm,
That's
mm.
what that's what happens when you're listening to your fans. Oh, I'm the Terminator. I'm this. I'm that. Ain't nobody got power like me but me. And then boop, exposed.
He might get Beterbiev out, Beck the bully out here tomorrow.
I, I mean, shit. I mean, better be if keeps his hands up a little bit better, but anything is possible. Especially like much like Crawford versus Porter. If you can land that rear uppercut straight, if you can land it dead on the chin, ain't nobody surviving that shit because you can't see uppercuts coming. You can't see them.
I mean, Cruz just knew to keep his fucking hand up.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what makes uppercuts so great. That's why people hard to do them because number one, it exposes you a lot, but you can't see them shits coming. That's why uppercuts fuck around and end fights.
So I've been hearing things through the grapevine. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing things that Beterbiev is a dirty fighter. When I say dirty, I mean you know. You know what I'm saying? The stuff.
You know, his home country has like 12 athletes suspended every fucking Olympics. So I
Mm.
mean, can we really be surprised? I mean, shit, Russia got banned from the fucking Olympics one time and had to go under another damn flag. So it's like
Mm.
it's like we can't be shocked, and that just is what it is. I mean, but fortunately, American fighters have been in with some juices before, and we've come out on top then. So we just got to rely on our superior skill set, ring IQ, and also like juice can only help you chin so much, especially if you're not as heavy as Tyson fucking Fury. So we all saw he struggled to make weight. Now I don't know what he's going to reinflate to, but I imagine that age and being at 175 in one division for so fucking long is having some issues. Not to mention he competed at heavyweight during the amateurs. Am I right? So he's definitely coming down some. And it's funny because as soon as he struggled to make weight, all of a sudden people are like, "Oh shit, Browne might win." I'm like, "Nah, no, no,
What?
no, no."
Slow down, slow down. You said he competed at heavyweight?
I believe he was a heavyweight amateur. Let me look it up. Make sure I'm not bullshitting. Let me look it up right quick to make sure I'm not
Please,
talking out of my ass.
please fact check that because if that is true, that is wild.
Yes, indeed. He competed as a light heavyweight and heavyweight in his amateur career. But all of his medals are at light heavyweight. But before he was actually medaling in the world championships, he competed as a heavyweight. So he came down a class. So yeah, that's actually true. He did compete as a heavyweight in the amateurs. But he all his medals are at light heavyweight. So that's facts.
So yeah, that's facts, huh?
Yep.
That's that's super wild. You will never ever ever hear the weight bully talk.
Yeah. Same as Castano. Castano fought as a fucking middleweight in the amateurs.
Mm. But it's all good. I ain't mad. So, but back to Beterbiev and Browne. What do you think about Browne's power?
Browne's what?
Power.
He has sufficient power in my experience. I believe the majority of his wins are by KO, but I'm not sure much. But he's more boxer than puncher. That's what he relies on, and he can definitely get you out of there by accumulation if you're not careful. I'm not sure if he's one punch stopped many people. I don't think he's done it to many people. No giant names, I should say, but he definitely got some stopping power, and I do believe he has the necessary power to stop Beterbiev if he can land appropriately. That's all it counts. Yeah, he has 24 wins, 16 knockouts, 8 decisions, only one technical loss. So yeah, very very doable.
What? You think he can stop Better Beef? Not
Yeah,
like, not put him out like Deontay Wilder, Browne's bomber style, but like accumulation of punches, David Benavidez style.
no, because again, this is a top ranking event, and there's 2 belts on the line. A referee wouldn't stop Beterbiev. A referee would stop Browne though, but a referee ain't gonna stop Beterbiev. You're gonna have to put him like out to where he can't get the fuck up
Yeah,
again.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because we also got to bring up things that can alter, like a referee, side ring, and promotional company.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that shit's important because different referees have different reputations for doing stuff. Like they bring in Russell Moore whenever there's a bunch of fuck shit because they know Russell Moore can do anything. They bring in Celestino Ruiz because they can do anything. They bring in shit, I forgot the other guy's name, but people like Thomas Taylor, Tony Week, Steve Willis, they don't get a lot of the bigger massive
Yeah,
fights because they're fair.
like my bad for cutting you off. I feel like Top Rank pissed off for having fucking Steve Wills as the referee for that fight.
Yeah, because he would have stopped Comey. He would have stopped Comey after the first knockdown if it was fucking Russell Moore. No, it's the fucking truth. It's the truth. That's why when the during the World Boxing Super Series, they had Tony Weeks and like Robert Byrd and like all the more experienced people there because they actually have fair fucking fights and don't wave it off for nothing. Like you barely get tagged in a top rank event, they'll stop you along the ropes. Or like Jack Reese, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, it's over." Like one thing I never understood about Jack Reese, Jack Reese gave Tyson Fury a fucking 11 count, but then stopped Tony Harrison along the ropes with Charlo. What? What?
Because I heard Jack Reed has some money on that fight too.
Yeah, like bro, you're too inconsistent, bro. Like Tony Weeks and Steve Willis and all them, their rulings are fucking consistent. They're consistent. Jack Reese, Russell Mora, fucking Celestino Ruiz, they're all over the fucking place. Like Celestino Ruiz is fucking dumb. Like there was one time it was a fucking I think it was a southpaw versus an orthodox fighter, and he was taking away points for stepping on feet. I'm like, bro, they're gonna step on fucking feet, bro.
What the stepping on feet?
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah, like he was taking. He kept threatening. He kept stopping the fight and trying to threaten to take points away. I'm like,
I,
what
I
the?
didn't like the ref in that botchstick fight because the ref fucking gave rooted a knockdown when Better Beef clearly threw fucking dude on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, luckily they got it overturned. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Beterbiev does to steal rounds. He'll try to make knockdowns out of nothing because he's getting outboxed. So he'll just try to like club you over the head and throw you to the ground. Be like, oh look, a knockdown. So it's a
Teddy
10
Adams
8.
looked like he's ready to have a heart attack.
Yeah, it's Teddy. That's some bullshit. He's like, hey, you saw that, bro?
Look at this, y'all. I want to see what it looked like when somebody's in a high guard against Browne. Not saying that this guy's anywhere like Better Beef, but just looking at a high guard defense.
Right. Yeah, when you shell up like that, you're easy to hit.
And you know who got a high guard?
Mm-hmm. And y'all saw as soon as Delorme stopped bullshitting and got on Stanionis' ass, Stanionis was struggling. He was hugging. He couldn't create any space to get his punches off. He was hurt. Even the commentators was like, "Oh shit, Stanionis is fucking hurt. He hugging and shit." So yeah,
And
all
fucking
that.
Jamal James made that shit look like easy work.
Yeah,
And
uh,
Boots made that shit look like easy work too. Boots definitely made it look like easy work.
oh yeah, it's Boots whooped his ass so bad they're trying to
But
sue the
then
nigga.
but then Stanosis motherfucking gets the opportunity to fight for a title. Ain't that shit crazy?
Right, you fighting on the man undercard.
Man, I feel like Derek James is gonna fine tune this guy fucking all the way right, dude. Because looking at these highlights, Browne is actually a pretty good boxer, man. Like, very good,
Excellent,
excellent.
excellent. And
Yeah,
people
like
get
what?
so hyped up. And people get so hyped up. You can't gauge someone's boxing ability if they're knocking everybody out. And the few times that Beterbiev has gone 10 or 11 rounds, he hasn't looked great. Like he hasn't looked great. He hasn't shown this expert level boxing ability because keep in mind, Beterbiev won a gold medal, I think, but it wasn't like at the Olympics. It was like European level championships. So he's not like some fucking Lomachenko level or some shit. Like I think, yeah, like it wasn't like an Olympic gold medal. These were like AIBA and European level championships. So let's not get it twisted. He's not some fucking oh my god Lomachenko 2 gold medal. Blah, blah, blah. Like no, it's not that guy.
Hmm. How old is Marcus Browne right now?
Marcus Browne, I believe, is currently age 31.
31. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, he's 31.
Do you think he got a lot of mileage on him for a 31-year-old?
Maybe from the inactivity, because we don't know how he was living his life while he was inactive. So that's always a stretch. Like if you smoking, drinking, partying, blah blah blah. I mean, I haven't heard any stories outside of his little legal issues that people bring up or whatever. But if he was living right in the gym, then it shouldn't really be a problem. But if he
Man,
was,
I can just tell you off the eye test, it looks like he's been living right.
yeah, he made weight rather easy, came in underweight.
Underweight. He don't post on social media. I couldn't find no like fucking photos of him, like what I'm saying, or video footage of him in the gym. I just seen pictures, like blurry pictures and shit of him in the gym or on somebody else's page. You know what I
And,
mean? So the guy's he's been working.
and he's fresh off of a fight. He literally fought in April of this year. I mean, of course, nobody watched it because it wasn't big. But basically, this entire year has been one big ass training camp for this unified opportunity. So we've all seen what focused underdogs can do: fuck around and make half of boxing look stupid. And like I said, that's why when this fight was first announced, and then I tagged you, I was like, the amount of disrespect Marcus Browne is getting is kind of unbelievable. Like, do y'all
There,
niggas really?
and what everybody's bro, people be getting mad at me and they be like, "Oh, well, you got Wilder versus Fury wrong." I'm like, dude, okay, shit, shit happens when you fight a fucking juiced
And,
up
and
guy
y'all
who
got
they get help. But I'm like, okay, now let's talk about Baumgardner that I got right, George
yeah.
Kambosos got right. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how this shit.
Martinez Galahad that I got right.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Ain't nobody, and people keep talking this shit. Let me tell y'all, nobody had Kiko Martinez winning that fight, but I think me and Aaron Rand's fist. So fuck all y'all. Y'all talking about,
Exactly.
oh, this is a good comeback for Kiko Martinez. Man, y'all full of shit. Y'all thought Galahad was gonna dog walk Kiko Martinez because you didn't do your fucking research.
And I
So
was
shut all that bullshit up. Talking about, oh yeah, I could have seen it both ways. Nah, shut the fuck up. Galahad was the heavy favorite for a damn reason. You don't get no credit for going with the consensus.
and exactly, and that's why the George Kambosos thing. I was on that shit for a minute, dude. I posted a video of me talking about it 3 months ago because somebody tried to say, "Oh, you don't like, you just got lucky with that shit." I'm like, no, dude. I just analyzed the fight, man. Not not saying that George Kambosos is some fucking god out here. I'm just saying like his particular style. I knew it was going to be a trouble for an unfocused, overweight Teofimo Lopez. Just knew it, and that I brought up a topic on Twitter. I said, man, boxing is not like a video game where a fighter or whatever goes into the match exactly how he was, from the start. He just doesn't start fresh and just 100% like that. You got to look at the everything surrounding the fight. What is the fighter doing of late? Is he active? Is he, you know what I'm saying? Is he in the gym? Is he going through a divorce? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Is he going to jail soon? Like, you got to think about stuff like that and timing as well.
Right. And I mean, shit, I remember for a second there, Even you had me convinced that Kambosos was gonna win. Then I was like, then I went back on and I was like, no, honestly, I think even if Tiafimo comes in there fighting like a moron, his power would be the difference. And it almost was until it wasn't.
But I don't know if you seen my prediction. I called it out exactly how it played out.
No,
I
you
said,
did.
man, I said, look, check this out. If Teofimo does not knock him out in the first 4 or 5 rounds, it's gonna look real bad, and George Kambosos is gonna look real impressive.
You
And
sure
that's
did.
exactly what happened because I knew I feel like Teofimo Lopez had the game plan of knowing, okay, I'm kind of fat out here. You know what I'm saying? Kind of bulky or whatever. And my gas tank ain't the best right now. So my best thing to do is just to go in there and knock in the first 5 rounds, like full pressure. And he went and did exactly that. And George Kambosos looked like a fucking star. Got this guy thinking he motherfucking Floyd Mayweather or some shit. I'm calling the shots, nigga. Hell no. Call your ass a fucking shot against Haney for all the belts if you really about that.
And that's the important thing you highlighted, the critical difference between pressure and intelligent pressure. Like
Yeah.
people like Mayorga, people like Virgil Ortiz Jr., people like who else are fucking even Julio Cesar Martinez. That's just pressure. Pressure's cool, but pressure leaves vulnerabilities. When you look at intelligent pressure, you want to look at Juan Manuel Marquez and Montes Stanionis, Triple G. That's intelligent pressure. Pressure with timing, pressure with speed, with accuracy, with punch diversity, and most importantly, pressure that leaves you some space to either get better leverage on your punches or take a step back if you need to. Motherfuckers just run in and try to give you a hug and shit. It's like, no, that's not gonna get it. You gotta have intelligent pressure. TFM just ran up on him trying to hug his ass and just maul his ass out of there. It's like, bro, no, he's been training with Pacquiao. He knows how to handle pressure, bro. So it's like, yeah.
He knows speed is good to a nigga who got his 5 minutes off from being inactive so long. And that's one thing that I knew was going to happen. I said, dude, this guy's fast. If Teofimo Lopez gets lax and get tired, he's going to get popped. And that's exactly what happened.
You could tell that right hand that he landed in the first round was rehearsed as hell. They knew
Yeah,
they knew they knew that was gonna happen.
I can pull up the clip. I knew he was going to hit him with that punch, dude.
That shit came
Sure
off.
I'm not.
Oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say it just came off too quick. It was just too robotic. It was just like bing bang. Like the moment he dropped his hand, George Campbell just let it off. It was just whoop wow, like instant. I was like, oh, you rehearsed the hell out of that.
Yeah. And it's like this too. With Marcus Brown and Derek James, I haven't seen any video footage of them trying. And
Smart.
I kind of like
Yeah.
that because when he goes out there, it looks fucking amazing. It's gonna be funny. Yeah, hey man, somebody's trying to tell me, and the non-blacks are already setting it up right now. They're saying things like, "Oh, even if Marcus Brown goes in there and just whoops Beterbiev's ass, Derek James shouldn't get Trainer of the Year because Earl was at this." And I'm like, dude, what? For a man to have 3 unified champions and
No
the guy
failed drug tests.
belt went in there and went and looked spectacular, they're gonna say, "Oh well, Canelo got undisputed. Josh Taylor got undisputed too."
Didn't get no respect.
So what are we saying? Their whole argument is gonna be, well, Canelo had a short period of time. He had to fight 3 people.
Again,
That,
Xander Zayas has fought 6 times this year. Ain't nobody eating his ass over it.
but they're not undefeated champions. That's what they're gonna say next.
Right. And it's funny because if Marcus Brown get in here and look good, we all got to remember this is a guy y'all all said would knock Canelo smooth out.
Oh, exactly.
So y'all
Exactly.
gotta keep that same energy. Y'all said this man was straight up sleep Canelo.
Hey, Brother D Hive, there's only a few people I like talking this boxing shit with, for real, for real. You are one of them because that makes a lot of sense right there. Because these guys, they quickly go away with what they said before. They like to say, "Oh, this guy's that, this guy's that," and then when they lose, "Oh, it ain't shit, man. It ain't shit." Like Teofimo Lopez, they were saying Teofimo was like this, and that. He can knock out Haney. If Haney got hit hard by Linares, he'll definitely get sparked out by T.O. I heard all that shit.
Right.
And what did we witness? You know what I'm saying?
See, Beterbiev is one of those people. Again, all his popularity, not only does it come from him being a knockout artist, but much like Benavidez, Virgil Ortiz Jr., fucking these are some other people. They're only popular for who people think they can beat. Canelo got his popularity off being a potential Mayweather killer. Benavidez got his popularity off being a potential Canelo killer. Beterbiev got his popularity from being a potential Canelo killer. Like when you get your popularity from around what you might do to somebody else, you're not building a strong reputation. You're just popular for that one thing. People like Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Triple G, they got all their Stanionis, Butayev, Besputin. They got all their popularity because people saw their boxing skills and people weren't sure who in boxing could beat them. Like, look at Boots. Boots is not, we don't think, people aren't saying, oh, Boots could beat up Spence, Boots could beat up Crawford, Boots could do this. People are saying Boots might fuck around and whoop everybody ass. That's why he's popular. He's not famous for, oh, he might be able to beat one fucking guy. Virgil Ortiz famous because people are like, he might be able to beat Terrence Crawford. He might be able to, which he wouldn't. He would get knocked crazy. He would get horribly disfigured. Like,
bro, I honestly pick Sean Porter to beat a Virgil Ortiz. I honestly do. Because Virgil Ortiz, like, I just feel like he fights like your guy Marquez. I don't know if you can consider a better version, but to me it kind of looks like a poor version.
Yeah.
I feel like this has a lot of offense, but when he getting backed up, he really don't know what to do.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, if he can make some improvements, he could be Marquez 2.0 in my opinion. But the truth of the matter is, currently, he fights a lot. I know a lot of people. This is gonna make a lot of people mad. He fights a lot like green beans.
That's why I feel like it was an interesting matchup.
That's why he struggled a little bit, and that's why he didn't want to deal with David Avanesian because, like I said, they fight very similar. And David Avanesian has been shown that if you trade with him and you in the wrong shot lands, he can fuck around and get you off your feet. So that's the truth.
He's real, and don't get me wrong, I like Virgil Ortiz. He's real offense heavy, but his defense is lacking. And I don't know if he's making that weight comfortably.
No, he's already like I remember for Maurice Hooker, he missed weight 3 times in the same fucking day, and then he finally made it after his 3rd attempt. But the thing is, also we got to understand, he's never been in there with real punchers. His only real puncher was fucking green beans, and we saw how that shit almost went. So it's like we got to be mindful of that. And it's just like people saying Boots might not be able to take a punch, or Haney might not be able to take a punch. Okay, Haney been in there with one puncher. Boots has been in there with like 1 or 2 punchers, but they're from 140 or whatever. Okay, fine, sure. But we have confidence going forward that they have enough ability and skill to not get landed on like that, which is why I have Haney beating Tank. People like Virgil Ortiz Jr., fuck, even what's his name, Beterbiev. He ain't been in there with no like Terminators. That's real talk, 88 Sports, and everybody know that. Virgil talking about this 4 or 5 years shit. No, he's just trying to help people lose interest in the fucking fight.
People got offended when I posted that stop trying to age Crawford out type shit because that's just not gonna work. Because if you try to age him out, you're just gonna get your ass kicked by an older guy.
Yeah, you're gonna be embarrassed. Like, didn't you learn from fucking Canelo? That shit don't work, bro. Crawford lives in the fucking gym.
Exactly. It's not like this is Triple G or some shit.
Yeah. Bernard Hopkins was what, 46 when he fought 26-year-old Kelly Pavlik?
Yeah, he had the same feeling like, yeah, I'm about to whoop this old nigga. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. trying to wait till they move up to 154. And it's like, you could do that too, but the thing is, killers like Boots are also going to be up there waiting on you, so you're in a Teofimo-like situation. You should just take your ass whooping now while you can rely on age and shit. At least then the fans will bail you out and be like, oh, he was young, Crawford was P for P, all this bullshit that they weren't saying before. Just take your L early. Get it out the way. Because the more you prolong it, because the thing is, the reason why people don't like to lose is because when you lose a championship or you lose a fight, you get reset in the rankings and you got to fight your way up. You don't want to be in a position where it's a bunch of young killers in the rankings and you just lost your belt.
Quick question.
Yo.
Where's the IBF belt at?
The IBF is in the United States.
No. I'm talking about in this Marcus Browne Beterbiev fight. I don't see the IBF belt.
Oh, you mean he didn't bring it to the press conference?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Well, BoxRec it says that they fighting for both titles because Beterbiev owns both of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where the fuck is it at though? Did he leave it at the crib?
Yeah, maybe the nigga lost it. I don't know.
Okay. But we got a good fight going on, man. I got my money on Browne. And I'm not doubting that Beterbiev can get the job done. But I'm saying, man, Browne, from what I've seen and what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, the guy's he's looking phenomenal. And I always fuck that word up, but you know what I'm saying. It's just that I just don't want him to get touched up and revert to doing something stupid.
I'm gonna say this. We're in a Caleb Plant like scenario here. If Browne fucks up and doesn't hold that left hand just high enough, he's out of there. I'm gonna tell you that right now because he's a southpaw. If he fucks up for a single second and doesn't hold that left hand high enough on holding the phone, he's done. That's one of the only vulnerabilities I see in Browne. Everything else he has the foot speed to escape from. But that looping Beterbiev right hook, I swear to God, because he can land that shit on the inside and he could turn it into an uppercut. So if Browne doesn't keep his head off the line and he drops that phone for 1 second, it's gonna be over.
And one thing I also said too about Browne is he shouldn't try to rely on the ref, thinking that the ref is gonna be like, oh, okay, break it up. No, hell no. The ref is gonna tell Beterbiev to keep on going, and he's gonna let him fucking hit you with a crazy ass behind the head punch in the clinch.
Exactly. Browne needs to fight like the ref ain't there.
Yeah.
Browne needs to fight like there's no referee because they're not gonna help you, bro.
Just get on his ass, man.
Yeah, and you need to be because Beterbiev is old now. So I mean he's older, so you need to be targeting the ribs and the liver from round one. Jab to the face, target the liver. That's your first priority, and then you want to start doing hooks and uppercuts. Save that for the middle rounds when he's a little gassed.
Might have to take a round off in the mid rounds.
Exactly.
If you're willing to go in there and put his ass out in the later rounds.
Yeah, I mean, because Browne, based on what I've seen, he has the power to finish Beterbiev, and he can finish him.
So Browne, the headbutt Beterbiev.
No, man, Browne probably break his own damn nose. Those Russians got hard ass heads. Speaking of Russians, you know they're setting up Charlo too now, right?
What?
They got some new kid from DAZN. They're training from Uzbekistan, I believe, and he fights Soro this week too. And he's gonna be the WB Mando for Little Charlo. His name is Madrimov.
Is that the guy who kind of looked like Triple G?
Yeah, they all from his little promotion company. So he try to squeeze them in there. Gongora exposed one of them a few like last year or something. It was versus Ali Akhmedov. Gongora exposed his ass. So yeah, they're trying to put that dude in there to take out Charlo. So they're working on it. They're little black assassins.
And it's like they let these guys get all juiced up and all that. And the section bodies just order them to fight you. And
Yeah.
they get them to try to snatch your belt away.
The thing that bothers me though, why it obviously looks suspect, all these niggas are getting back-to-back title opportunities in like their first 20 fucking fights. They're not putting in any work. They like Stanionis doesn't even have 15 fucking fights. Butayev, barely has 15 fucking fights. Madrimov barely has 15 fights. Like all these dudes are getting these title shots super fucking early and they ain't fighting nobody. So it's like clearly they're being put into position. Like look at I don't know how many fights does fucking Janabek ass have. I don't know how many fights that motherfucker has. Let me look. Janabek, 11 fucking fights. He's the mandatory for a belt. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Man's got 11 fights. Like, what are we doing?
But I'm ready for it. I'm ready for motherfucking this better be fight, bro. I'm over here posting shit on Twitter right now, just letting everybody know that we're live. Um
It's on a Friday too. Damn. Unified champ on a Friday. Y'all want to talk about Tank's numbers?
oh yeah, that's crazy, dude. Ooh, somebody just hit the cash app for $100.
Oh, look at you.
But it's not boxing related.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, like y'all want to talk about Tank's numbers and shit. Top Rank got Inoue and Beterbiev, two people that a lot of people got pound for pound right now, fighting on weekdays. They got Inoue competing with Tuesday morning motherfucking cartoons, bro. Like, bro, bro. Y'all want to talk about Tank's pay-per-view numbers?
That's people start putting up some stop the Asian hate tweets when I started talking about Anui and his fucking the cousins he's fighting and shit. They
No,
talk
bro.
he's fighting dudes just getting out of the fucking Asia prison. Like, what is this? What
Yeah,
is this?
yeah.
And then you
For
think I should put him higher than Spence?
there are some pound for pound lists where I see fucking Tyson Fury like either a spot below or a spot above Errol Spence. I'm just like, well, based off of what?
Based off of he beat Wilder, somebody that we high because he only beat Ortiz. So make it make sense. But when you
Absolute fucking craziness.
think about it, it's like Wilder, what he really supposed to be in there with Tyson Fury? If you let Wilder drop you all this and knock you down, and you had to fucking use tamper gloves in the commission and Sergio Mora, all that shit. I mean, Russell Moore, all that shit.
But yeah, this definitely not a good look. And Jack Reese and Russell Moore, two garbage refs.
And nobody wants to ask questions, bro. Nobody. My thing is, it's like this. I hate when people try to laugh at me and say, "Oh, you're just crazy." I don't really hate it. I don't really give a fuck. But I'm just saying, it's like when they be like, "Oh man, you're crazy and all this," but we're seeing it. Boxing is so fucked up that they're talking about they won't allow it in the 2028 Olympics.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. I mean, I feel bad for the Cubans, the Cuban brothers that can't get out of the country and they need the Olympics to try to defect. But ultimately, we're gonna have a lot of young killers that are gonna just start turning pro, like Keyshawn, like Keyshawn. They could go get some gold medals again in the Olympics and probably fuck everybody up. But they're like, why? It's gonna be bullying, and we're not even gonna be getting paid. Because believe it or not, bro, like being a sports hero in Russia in the amateur is like a big deal. So I understand why they do it, but in reality, nobody cares about that shit. It's about money, especially when you have good potential. When you have good potential in boxing, because most other Olympic sports, the pro level of them are not very profitable. So it behooves you to get out the Olympics earlier. Like imagine who Deverenchenko would be right now if he got at the Olympics at like 18. Like if he went pro at 18.
When he get out the Olympics, like 25, 28.
Yes, I think around the same time Lomachenko. Like Lomachenko got out like 26, 27. Deverenchenko got out when he was damn near 30. So it's like, oh, look at you. Look at you.
So all the Russians used to juice in the amateurs. You tell me that Beterbiev ain't never juiced in the amateurs too? Man, ain't no telling.
Coming down from heavyweight.
Coming down from heavy. But it is what it is. What do you think about Beterbiev's position right now? I feel like it's time for Beterbiev to leave Top Rank or what?
I don't imagine why he would leave. I mean, they've been treating him relatively good. And another thing you have to understand is that a lot of these dudes from these third world backgrounds, they don't see money how we see money because they're just happy to be getting a paycheck. Like Lomachenko's cool with Top Rank because he's been politicked into positions he shouldn't have been in, and he's never questioned his paycheck because he's just happy to have some bread. So if he had to go back to the Ukraine, he'd be living like a king. I think Beterbiev is in the same situation because he was on PBC and he left the Top Rank, so he must have done that for a fucking reason. So, I feel like he's getting maximum bread, fighting people that we've hardly fucking heard of for the most part, and he cashing out. So Bob Arum has never talked no shit about him. I mean, he's never been like Beterbiev's garbage. You're a unified champion, getting more money than you would anywhere else. So it's like, fuck it.
So you think Bob Arum just got him on that minimal ass contract, huh?
I just think that Beterbiev is not like a fucking number one, yeah, but Beterbiev isn't a draw. Like if you watch the Kroling fight where he got his first belt, people were literally booing with how boring the fight fucking was. The crowd was literally booing. They were like, boo, because it's like, bro, Beterbiev again. He beat one guy. He beat one fucking guy. That's it. 16 fights, one notable name. That's it.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, Vodka?
Yeah.
Shit. I think it was like what, fucking a year, 2 years? Let me look it up. That fight was 2 years ago. Yep, two years ago.
What has he done since then?
He has fought Deans, and that's kind of it. He took 2020 off, didn't have a single fight. That was probably due to the pandemic more than anything. And also because, let's keep it real, he doesn't have a big enough draw for Bob Arum to go in the bank and try to do all that COVID bullshit with Beterbiev. I mean, he's not a draw. He's just someone that people talk about. And again, the most press he's getting right now is because he has a black opponent. If he was fighting anybody else, no one would give a fuck. You think if you...
It's really Marcus Browne, or people checking for Marcus Browne that's promoting this fight. Because
exactly.
the people who are quote-unquote Beterbiev fans, I literally seen them today saying, oh, damn, I didn't know Beterbiev fight tomorrow. I thought that shit was like fucking Saturday or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're not. Yeah, it's not real. It's only interesting because Marcus Browne's fighting him. Same reason why Tyson Fury only got his traction because of Deontay Wilder. If Joe Smith Jr. blew up to heavyweight and was a champion, nobody would give a fuck about that fight, bro. They don't even give a fuck about Tyson Fury versus Dillian White. They don't give a fuck about that fight.
They don't. And it is what it is. My thing is, man, I honestly think that Top Rank is this is Beterbiev's last fight, man. Because Beterbiev, I don't think he's making him a lot of money. He's already had several fights with them. Several years has passed. And it's like, what else can they do for this guy's career?
What, you think they're gonna release him?
Yeah.
Oh, so I don't think they're gonna release him. Like if he takes a hard L,
lose?
Yeah, okay, yeah. If he take a hard L, for sure. But while he still got them belts, they're not gonna do all that.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, there's no incentive because you could just have him there, have the belts, and then the thing is, when they want Beterbiev to lose, they'll just put someone from Top Rank on it. Yeah, because I mean, I'm not sure how much.
But I don't know, man. Maybe what if they think that he's gonna lose this fight?
Then they probably got the termination paperwork ready. But yeah, no. If he wins, then I don't see why they would terminate him. That makes no financial sense.
Like this, you don't think that maybe his? I'm not saying that they have to fire him, but you don't think that his contract may be up with them? Saying that he's been signed with them for so long, and he already a certain amount of fights with them.
No, I believe you're correct about your assumption that his contract might be up, but I don't think, like I said, if he take an L, I can see them not renewing the contract. But if he fuck around and win, because this is his most notable, this is the best opponent he's ever fought. And people know this, which is why the fight is gaining some traction and people are starting to pick Browne. Because this is the best opponent he's ever fought. This is the first opponent he's ever fought that has a fucking resume better than his. So if he wins this, I think this will give him a lot of much needed profile, and Top Rank will have all the incentive to keep him. But if you fuck around and lose, then yeah, I can see they'd be like, you know what, it's been real, it's been fun, but hamstring, bro. Like, take a walk.
I would be surprised if Beterbiev that he has some type of injury after this damn fight.
It's always gonna be something, gonna talk shit or whatever, but you know, if nigga ain't got a rematch clause, fuck all that. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit.
And, and that's the thing. What type of fight is this? Is Marcus Brown signed to PBC? I've seen PBC post anything about this fight.
I don't know. Marcus Brown might be just a free agent right now because I know all of his fights, I believe, have been on PBC. I don't know. I don't know if he's active. So let me see. Let me see if he's actively listed.
He probably
Uh,
Amen.
he's on the website, so I'm assuming that he signed to PBC. But then again, Top Rank only makes fights where they only do cross promotion where they think that their fighter's gonna win. But I think that this is wholly in Top Rank's hands because Marcus Brown isn't a real draw. So there's no amount of money that Al Heyman was gonna spend on the fight to capitalize on it. But I tell you this, if Brown bring them belts home, oh Marcus Brown gonna get some work. Oh Marcus Brown gonna get some work.
Who they gonna put Marcus Brown in there with?
Shit, they could bring Jacobs' useless ass up, make that fight. That's easy money since he was running his mouth about Joe Smith Jr. They could bring Jacobs' punk ass up. They can
Jacob's too
oh
busy fighting John Ryder.
yeah, that's his punk ass.
That
They
shit.
got Benavidez. They can bring up Benavidez on the light heavyweight side of the
Woo!
game.
Versus Brown at 175 for both of those belts.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the
Uh,
other? Oh yeah, Joe Smith Jr.'s.
yeah, Joe Smith Jr. and Beterbiev, but Joe Smith Jr. with Top Rank, so that they not gonna do all that. Shit. Hey, Anthony Durrell can get a paycheck if he want to bring his ass up to 175. Any one of the Durrell brothers, to be quite honest. And I think Badu Jack is still up there, so you can get that run back. You know, if he want to get his ass whooped again. So it's not like a super juicy stable, but they got some people they could work with. They could bring David Murrow Jr. up to 175. Atif O'Burlton, they could bring him up. So there's gonna be some options. There's gonna be some options.
What's up, brother? Burks or Banks? I mean,
What's up, Chris?
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
You're a little low.
Yeah, you're a little low.
Oh, now.
Yeah, you good now.
Okay. So we're talking about Marcus Brown and Beterbiev.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, I think Marcus can win this fight. But it all depends if he can take what's his name, Berterbiev's punches, because he's way more skilled than this dude. So there's no reason why he can't outbox him.
Yeah, judge is willing. I should say judge is willing because
Yeah,
motherfucker.
more
I-
athletic, better footwork.
yeah,
He's got
because
a
we
jab on him.
because we saw how Top Rank do Valdez versus Conceição. Valdez easy. I mean, Conceição easily won 9 rounds. Still didn't give him the fight.
Yeah. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for thinking Marcus Brown fights like Earl Spence a little bit?
No, you're not because I said the same fucking shit. Man, I
I
ain't
swear to
posted
God.
on Twitter. I ain't posted it on Twitter, but I've been saying the same shit in my head. Like, bro, this guy fights like Errol Spence Jr. Like
Yeah.
the whole, jab, 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 hook,
Yeah.
back up. You know what I'm saying? I like the way Errol Spence fight, man. It's
Yeah.
basic, but it's very good.
It's like Tim Duncan. The fundamentals.
It's the fundamentals is very good.
Yeah.
But the
And that's
one thing that Derrick James can't seem to replicate is that damn Errol Spence Jr. body attack. That's Errol Spence. That ain't Derrick James. That's Errol. If he can replicate that with all his fighters, his stables will murk everybody.
Jamel Charlo, this nigga is the ultimate headhunter or dropout.
like Paulo just fights his own way. Derek,
Like he don't no type of body work at all.
Nah, he don't. He really don't.
I haven't seen a
Like
body punch from him at all. I remember a body punch that oh my lord,
I mean, he can crack though, so we got that.
man.
Yeah. Honestly, it was fucking funny because Jamel Charlo, when he came up against Castano, Nigga was fighting like Beterbiev in there. I was like, oh, were you being a fucking robot, bro?
Yeah.
He was just swinging for the damn fences. Had dude hurt, smothering his work, jumping around. Like honestly, he kind of looked like fucking Wilder versus Stavern. I was like, damn, Charlo, slow down some. Take a step back. Fuck.
Hey, y'all know what this fight could look like tomorrow?
Well,
Meldrick Taylor versus Julio Cesar Chavez.
oh shit.
Meldrick beating his ass for about 9 rounds or so. This nigga get some shit in and gets him out of there. I hope I'm
Yeah,
wrong, but
yeah, no, that could easily be the case. Or like fucking I think Ray Beltran had a fight like that where he was losing a gang of rounds, then he just let some shit off and then it was over. It was just like blab, oh shit. The fight was over.
yeah, isn't Beterbiev has been knocked down before, right?
Multiple times by some boo boo.
Was he actually hurt or was it like a flash knockdown?
The one with Jeff Page was a flash. The one with Callum Johnson, nigga was wobbled. I was like, whoa, Callum Johnson rocked your ass, bro.
Yeah. I mean, Marcus is a good counter puncher, so he can catch him with something. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's best not to trade because also you got to take into consideration because Better Biev is effectively the home team here. Better Biev
yeah,
could not land clean and they'll still give him points. Like, look at every Canelo fight ever. Nigga could be completely missing. They're like, oh, look at all the work he's putting in. Like, wait, what? The fuck are
nigga
you
just
talking
strong
about?
as shit. Like he'll just maul you. Like
Yeah, he'll just like grab your shoulder and cuff you behind the head. They'll be like, oh, he's landing the more effective punches. Like punches, you put the nigga in a headlock. What are you talking about?
you
Talking
see
about
this nigga's
punches.
workouts.
Yeah, his little wrist exercises and shit.
Shit, whatever he doing, it working for him.
Yeah, so was that Matrix numbers bullshit for Lomachenko and then boop boop exposed.
Yeah,
All that shit is just top. That's they've been showing that same fucking workout routine since like 2015. Like we get it, he does that. Cool.
yeah.
It's just like when they show motherfuckers hanging sideways from flagpoles. Like don't nobody care, bro. Like they just show that because that's some of the only impressive footage they have on Better Be aside from some of his knockouts. Like okay, yeah, we get it. He does that to strengthen his fucking wrist. Guess what? Caleb Plant does the same shit. Doesn't punch as hard. What the fuck is your point?
Yeah. Also,
Like,
the
yeah.
fact that Canelo, the fact that Canelo wants this fight so bad tells me that this dude, they obviously see something like he's very beatable.
You think Canelo wants Better Be?
Yeah, they were talking about getting that fight. I think because he's flat footed. He's basically like a poor man's version of Triple G.
Mm, I don't think.
He
I
just
don't.
hits hard.
I don't think Canelo even want a piece. To be quite honest, if
No,
I
that
be
time was bad for Canelo because um, Canelo's not used to getting rough housed and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
haven't really seen Canelo like anybody lean on Canelo and put him in a headlock or anything like that ever.
yeah,
true.
and also Better Be if don't really respect people's power. So the fear, the biggest thing about Canelo, people like Canelo, Benavidez, etc., is the fear factor. You take away the fear factor, they gonna get the ass whooped. Like Triple G got on his ass because Triple G said, "I don't give a fuck about what you talking about. Oh, you got all
True.
this power, all these boxing skills. Yeah, all right, nigga, let's go." And then Canelo looked horrible. Like
True. And
and then oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say he did look slow at 175 versus Kovalev.
Exactly. And shit, better be and man, better be don't give a shit. They'll put Canelo little ass in the headlock, be like, bring your little ass over here. Come on. And then start like throwing him to the ropes and wrestling his ass. He'll be complaining to the ref, fucking low blows and shit. Man, shit, bro. Better be able to get on his ass. I'm not saying better be able to win the fight. I'm just saying he would put Canelo in some uncomfortable situations and make him look real regular. Like as soon as he got in there with Triple G, he looked very regular. As soon as he got in there with Kovalev, he looked very regular. It was like, oh, this is that's why do you think like Triple G had fought pretty much nobody but Jacobs up until that point, but they have to talk Triple G up because Triple G made Canelo look average. So
Right.
they have to make it seem like, oh shit, Triple G he's this fucking monster mini. The nigga had fought nobody but Jacobs.
Yep. I hope Marcus wins in devastating fashion. That way Canelo ain't going to even think about going to 175.
And that's gonna be
No,
the
yo.
And I already posted on my Twitter. I said, dude, if not Derek James, if fucking Marcus Brown win, is Marcus Brown going to be in the Canelo sweepstakes or what?
The thing
Hell
is,
no.
if Beterbiev wins in like a one punch knockout, Canelo ain't gonna fight that nigga either. So
Nope.
it don't matter. Whoever looks shitty is probably gonna get the fight.
And then David Lemieux and fucking Benavidez got a fight, but it was for like what? What's the reason?
It's supposed to be a title eliminator for an interim belt when Canelo gets special permission to keep his belts, go up and wait and fight Pumbaa from Lion King, and then come back down and try to be king again if he even does that. But it's funny because I think that the David Lemieux versus Benavidez fight, that shit might go sideways. That shit might go
Stop.
sideways.
You think Lemieux has a chance? Is that what you're saying?
Chance is some strong ass language, but I'll say this: I think that because David Lemieux, one thing he does well is he loops a lot of his shots. If you watch his fights, you'll see that his fists are kind of pronated inwards a little bit, especially if you look at Triple G or him versus Curtis Stevens. His fists are pronated in a little bit, and he loops a lot of his punches. David Benavidez is very vulnerable to looping lefts around the elbow to get to the liver and shit right up the middle. And Lemieux is coming up from 160, so he's going to be gaining some weight. So, he was a decent puncher at middleweight. If he goes to 168, I'm not saying he's going to win, but I'll just say that Ronald Gavril was able to put David Benavidez on his ass. I'll say that. David Benavidez struggles with people who are supposed to be at fucking 168.
What's up, fellas? Hey, Armin, is this your first live in a few days? Because I have not been receiving any type of notification.
I've been slacking, I just been chilling.
Okay, because I was like, man, I haven't seen him in a minute.
But you kind of sound a little muffled, like you in the bathroom or some shit, in a closet or something.
Oh, let me take this Bluetooth off. Hold up. It's still muffled?
Say something?
It's still muffled?
Yeah, just a little bit, but we good. If that's all you got, we can keep going.
No, I'll take the Bluetooth off in a second.
All right. Now,
Yeah.
is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But how you feeling, Mr.
So what's going on? What's
Checkmate?
the topic? I'm good, my brother. I'm actually looking forward to this Marcus Brown fight. I plan on putting about $300 on Marcus Brown. I believe he's going to get the upset. He's focused. He's down there training with Earl and Derek James. Rededicated himself.
And Frank Martin.
Yeah. So my thing with Brown, he just, he explained a lot as well. He had friends who came home from prison. He's from Staten Island. You know what I mean? From the the same projects that Method Man and all them from Park Hill and all of that stuff. So you know what I mean? He was living a life a little bit, and he got unfocused. And the fact that this man can pick himself up and leave New York, leave his comfort zone, and go rededicate himself, the talent is already there.
Let me tell y'all,
So,
New York to Texas, I lived in Texas for a lot of years. That's a totally different culture than New York. So for him to get out and go there, that's definitely stepping out of his comfort zone.
I'm putting $300 on it, brother.
I put 100 on it.
You putting 100? Yeah. If I lose, listen, I always make it up. I only fight when the odds are big enough where I'm walking away with thousands. So even if I lose, there's another fight that's going to come up, and I'll eventually make it up. So I'm not worried about that. But I believe in him. That's the whole thing. And people are underestimating him. They never really looked at him. They look at the Pascal fight and they think, okay, well, this guy's, you know what I mean? He's got a butter chin. No. He was living that life. And he was unfocused. He was a little arrogant with his talent. He knew that he was pretty much better than everybody he stepped in the ring with. And all you got to do is, for a split second, lose focus. So now this brother is focused. I'm focused.
He was confident in that Pascal fight coming in because he's like, yeah, dude, I'm levels above Pascal. And I thought so too. But then when his ass started dropping all over the ring, like, oh, shit.
And that was some
Well, you can look at
disrespect
his
to
body language. You can
Pascal.
look at his facial expressions. You know what I mean? When he was in the ring with Pascal, he was like, "Man, this gonna be easy," and boom. But the thing about it, it didn't get stopped because it was knocked out. He got stopped because of the gash, because of the cut.
And he still
So
on 1 point.
yeah, that should tell people something. People look at the outcome and they think, "Oh, he." Listen, brother.
People think he got
Y'all seen the vid I put out with Beterbiev. He's been down a couple of times and two times and by two different fighters in 15 fights. So it happens. So he's not invincible. He's very strong. The man walk around probably about 215. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going with my man Marcus.
What do you think about? So initially, I put 50 on him, and then I was like, you know what? I seen him at the weigh-in, and I said, I'm gonna throw another 50 on that motherfucker because I built the deal for me. And I told people, I'm like, bro, you gotta look at things leading up to the fight. Like what? You know what I'm saying? They did, and somebody showed a picture of them doing the 30-day mark on before weigh-in, and they said this nigga was already at like 200 pounds, 190 something.
Yeah, Beterbiev was at 190 and Marcus, I believe he was I think no, I would say 174. I'm looking at one of those was at 2 weeks out. But either way, he was like I think he was like 15 pounds lower than Beterbiev. That tells me that's dedication, that's focused. You know what I'm saying? He's taking this thing to the limit, brother. He's pushing it. And when preparation plus opportunity equals success. When you already got the talent and you put the drive and the dedication there, good things gonna happen. You know?
That's this is the post right here. Hold on, let me show y'all. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Like being back and forth, hence he's ducking. Now look at fight, but he doesn't like to bang back and forth, hence he's ducking. Ducking who, L Jack?
Okay, this is
That's the one I saw.
Hey, got the fucking Denzel looking like what shit. What's that shit? Here, 190.6. And what was this? What is this like the 7-day? Oh, 30-day. Oh man, hold on. Let's look at that. Let's look at that, y'all. It says at the 30-day weigh-in, Beterbiev was 190 and Marcus Browne was 184.6. And then on the 14-day, motherfucking Beterbiev was 183 and Marcus Browne was already 179.4. And then on the 7-day weigh-in,
he was already
Beterbiev was
underweight.
179.4. And on the 7-day weigh-in, Marcus Browne was already at 174.8. Oh shit.
He was already underweight.
Yeah.
I might end up throwing another 100 on there.
Hey, you know what I always say, Mr. Checkmate? When you win big, hit artmanapparel.com.
You already know, brother. I've been on the loser streak. I've been on the loser streak since that. The Wilder, I lost to Wilder. And who else? It was another one that
Plant.
Yeah. The Plant was the one that I was the 700 to win.
We skipped out on the 3,000. Well, I don't know why. I don't know why. I really don't. Because I gotta do a little something so I can make sure I can get, bet on the fight. But that shit's just extra shit, man. Like, I can't believe I did not bet on George Kambosos.
And I was, man, I was saying it. I was like, he's going to win.
I made some street bets about that George Kambosos fight a while ago with people, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, I ain't gonna chase you down. Like, oh, I need that money that you promised me 4 months ago. So I just let it slide. But this time around, I'm always putting my shit in the circuit. Now I need my money from these odds, man. Most definitely.
Yeah, that's the only time I bet. I can't if it's, you know what I mean. So it gotta be above plus 500. If it don't get my juices flowing, if I don't get motivated by those large odds, I don't even bet, brother. I have never bet on the time fight. I have never bet on. What'd you say?
It's not like no Canelo Eardrum shit where it's like, oh damn, the odds are so fucking crazy. Of course it's crazy. You know, I like when the odds are crazy against somebody that people rate low, but I know their skills are high.
Right, like Tio, when I won money on Tio versus Loma. You know what I mean? Again, so for this one, I got a good feeling about it. I'm not betting emotional. I'm looking at the circumstances. I'm looking at people taking Browne lightly. I'm looking at Beterbiev is not as sharp of a boxer as people think. He throws a lot of looping wide punches, and he frequently is off balance with his hooks.
Yeah.
And he has a very slow recoil. You know what I mean? So if you counter punch him, if he punches and misses, he's wide open for a shot. And
damn,
we saw
seen
like
the undercard.
Nah, who's on the undercard?
Undercard is fucking dog shit. Oh my god, this undercard is fucking trash. The only.
I thought he was gonna say something good.
Oh hell no, the undercard is fucking horrible. Like the only people I recognize on this fucking undercard is Steve Garbage Ass Rolls, Dinner Rolls.
Oh, Steve making a comeback? Oh shit.
And then this motherfucker Jukambayev. I think after Jukambayev got his ass whooped by Subriel Matias, he changed the top rank. He's like, you know what, they match me too tough over at PBC. I'm gonna take my ass over the top rank where I can get some easier work. Oh no, and then there's this chick that Clarissa Shields beat up, Marie Decaire. She's fighting again after Clarissa Shields whooped her ass. So that's basically it. This undercard, the undercard horrible. It's absolute garbage.
You know, unfortunately, a lot of cards have been undercards have been garbage. But I tell you what, there's been a couple of undercards that were unexpected. I go a couple of fights ago. I think it was last year. F.A. Ajagba, that fight that he was on, the whole card was banging. That's the fight that he got knocked down, but he came back and and won the fight.
Oh yeah,
that whole card, every fight was worth it, man. I'm like, wow, you don't really get cards like that. So
the Hurd versus Lara was a good undercard too, with the Gale versus Truax. That shit was funny.
And it had Prime J-Rock versus cocky ass Nate Gallimore.
Yeah, exactly.
The Tank Cruz undercard was pretty good. I wanted I was going for my boy Devrinchenko, you know what I mean? He kind of let me down because I wanted him to win.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, Offset. I mean, what's his name? He looked like Offset to me. What's that nigga he fought?
Wait, who?
What's his name?
The dude he
Devrinchenko
fought.
Oh, Carlos Adames?
Yeah. He kind of looked like Offset to me. But yeah.
For the Caleb Plant Canelo fight,
the Dominican guy, yeah.
The prelims were better than a lot of the fights on the actual card, except Canelo and Plant. Shit, like Ray Vargas. Ray Vargas don't get enough respect.
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't like that on the card.
I thought the Ray Vargas fight during the prelims was sweet. I was like, oh shit, Ray Vargas in here kicking ass.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. These undercards, if you have a strong undercard, you will draw people in, but they'll pay the top shelf to the main card. And even for instance, the Tank card, I think what is the what's the tall guy name? What's his name?
Fandora.
Fandora, yeah. I don't like the guy. He just, I don't know. I something about his style that I just don't like. So I
feel like it's cheating.
I don't know. He's tall and he's lanky, but he's so slow. And if anybody got a good body game, they're gonna take that boy out. They're gonna break a rib.
That's why I'm like,
because
why Lubin's not calling him out.
I don't understand why people hit him.
Lubin's called everybody at 154 out. Now they're acting like they're scared of this nigga. As soon as he get popped by Charlo, they're talking about he has no chin, but then they don't want to fight him. How come everybody in boxing that has no chin can't get fights? I'm trying to figure it out. Everybody that has no chin can't seem to get fights.
The FBF list.
They said they ain't got chin, but they ain't saying nothing else.
Yeah, I'm
Okay?
trying to figure it out. Lubin, like niggas want to pass it because Lubin's the WBC #1 for Charlo's belt. Niggas want to try to pass up Lubin to get title shots, and Lubin's like, hell no, that's not how that works. He's like, Danny Garcia, you want a fucking title shot? Bring your punk ass up here and give me a fight. Danny Garcia like, no, I only want Charlo. Like, bro, you don't even have a belt at welterweight. Who the fuck is you talking to? You don't just get to.
He was like, nigga, hell nah.
Yeah, you don't just get to fucking skip the line. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, but I don't know with the Fandora though. Fandora, I'm not a fan of him, Mr. Slender Man. I'm just not. I don't know. I don't know if they trying to prop him up. I think the one Tank beat Barrios is better than Fandora, and people try to shit on Barrios. I actually think Barrios got skills.
Man, now Mr. Checkmate. What do you look? What's it looking like? Who do you think is going to be the favorite in that fight, Barrios versus Thurman?
And Keith, I'm going for Barrios. I'm putting my money on Barrios.
That's going to be bad.
Because I think people sleeping on him. He got the size, he got the strength. I've put out a couple of highlight videos of him. You know what I'm saying? And he, you know what I mean?
I thought he was going to hurt Tank some because I keep it, man, like you say, undercards. I seen him on all Errol Spence undercards, and all I see was knockout.
Yeah,
that tough fight,
and he
still knock dudes down.
I knew he wasn't going to be able to hurt. I knew he wasn't going to be able to hurt Tank, but he can fuck around and get off on Thurman. That's a bad situation for Keith Thurman.
All he got to do is go to the body on Thurman, and Thurman is done. And then it's just a very long layoff for Thurman. I think Thurman is ready to retire and play the flute. He's married. I think this is a cash out. He's saying this is a tune-up to get to the Bud fight, but I just don't think. I think with this layoff, I think he, you know what I mean, his married life, his focus haven't really been boxing, and I think he could get a couple of mil and see what happens. But we see what happened with the Josecito Lopez fight. So I think Barrios is going to catch him off guard. Barrios is going to be bigger. He's going to be stronger. You know what I mean? You know, and I just think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. So hopefully those are wide odds, so I can make some money on it.
My thing is like this: what if I feel like PBC and them giving him like they throwing him a bone here or an opportunity? It's like, dude, if you beat Barrios, we might put you in position for a Tank fight at 147.
Potentially, but I don't think that Mayweather at this point would drag Tank up to 147 to see a Keith Thurman that's fresh off a W. If he was off the layoff, okay, yeah, maybe. But if I don't think they're gonna make him go all the way up to 147.
I have no doubts Tank could beat Keith. The only thing we got to worry about is the power. They say Keith Powers has bigger pop than Earl. You know, and they say Earl is the stronger fighter, but they say Keith, you know, his punch got a better pop. So I don't, you know what I mean? Tank can maneuver around it, and I definitely see Tank beating Keith. But I wouldn't want to see that happen because remember he would be at 147. It ain't like he would be at 135. You know what I mean? So when he go up, and his strength to go up as well. But I wouldn't want to see Tank at 147. I want him to master the divisions he's in. The only way I would want him to go to 140 is to face Josh Taylor because I still believe he can beat him. And other than that, I want him to even fight at 130. I still think he can fight at 130 again. He said he could, and he said if there's a good fight for me at 130 and 135, he said that recently. So, but I don't want him to go to 147. If it was a belt available, like Keith had a belt or something, but I still know I think that's kind of a circus gimmick. I think there's too many available options for Tank right now to even do something like that. No more circus game.
People get mad at Javante them and Tank me and TMT. They're like, hold on, okay, we didn't spend our money now. Now we want to see you against. We want to see you against them names.
I think that the Thurman fight is a good fight. The only reason why I said what I said is because Tank just broke his fucking hand. Now that needs to heal. He maybe needs to do one more reassessment at 135, just to see where he's at, and then he can do whatever he wants. Or if he feels comfortable, he can go up and weigh. So that's the only reason why I said what I said. Personally, I think at at 147, Tank beats the living shit out of Thurman, and it's embarrassing. That's why.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's why when Mayweather and them were entertaining the idea back when Tank wasn't busy, Thurman was talking shit, running his mouth, talking about, oh, they ain't gonna do nothing. Leonard was like, bro, you can sign the contract right now, and we'll go ahead and let Tank fight you for that easy ass paycheck. And Thurman started bullshitting, talking about, oh, I don't know. So I'm like, yeah, so even Thurman know he'll fuck around and get folded. But I definitely don't. Huh?
If I was Thurman, I'd risk it. Fuck it.
Exactly. That would have been bread. That would have been a lot of bread for him. But huh?
Instead of losing to his leftovers to Barrios, hopefully not.
Exactly. That's what I'm mad about. And what I was really gonna say was, I think that Thurman is going to. I'm not saying that the layoff isn't going to affect him some, because I don't think he's fought a person this big before. But I think he's going to come back rejuvenated, wanting to prove something, wanting to get back into the limelight and actually get a Crawford fight as opposed to a Tank fight. Because again, I don't think they're going to have Tank move like that, especially after his injury, because that has to get better. But I think that's what he's going to do. As far as who beats who, this is Keith Thurman's fight to lose, to be honest. Because Keith Thurman can crack some, but he is soft to the body. And, as far as off the back foot, he just dances around. He doesn't really land any other punches. So it's a very losable fight, which I'm pissed off at Keith for even taking. So if he loses this, he needs to just retire and shut the fuck up, because I don't want to hear shit else from Keith.
They taking Barrios lightly. But my wish list for Tank, if I want the Cambosas, I know I know D-Hop want Haney to get the Cambosas fight, but my wish list is the Tank Cambosas. If he can't get that, then Lomachenko, and if he can't get Lomachenko, I want that Cruz rematch.
Well, Haney definitely ain't getting Cambosas, so that's whatever. Haney definitely ain't gonna get it.
I still want. I need Tank to get that Cruz rematch, because I had a Tank winning 8-4, but people thought it was closer than what it was. You know what I mean? They saw Tank get hit with a couple of clean shots. The thing is, when he got a couple of clean shots, what happened? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? And remember, I predicted it would go the distance. I said he would be like Castaño. You know what I mean? I said it's going to be a better competition for Tank than Riley or Ryan. But I look at this Cruz. If Tank got a whole camp to prepare for this little turtle shell, man, it's going to make a difference, because I believe the whole thing was to box around to like the 7th or 8th round and then go on the offensive. If you heard the corner instructions before they knew his hand was hurt, they was like, hey, you know what I mean? I need you to bully him a little bit this round. You understand? So they was kind of heating the pot up a little bit until they sent it to boil. But once he broke his hand, not much he could do, because we didn't see him go on that offensive. If he could, a lot of the Mexican fans, they're saying, oh, Tank lost because he backed up. What? He was playing Matador to the bull.
Tank,
you know what I mean?
Tank was showing me movement that I have never seen him use before.
It was beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow.
It was beautiful.
Video of him on a little close up. They got the phone in the ring and they got the the video of it or whatever. And they, somebody's in the comment section was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. This was like watching the Mayweather fight. To see so much skill like that, to keep a guy off you that's pressuring you like that and still tagging him up. It takes a lot of skill.
I'd have watched the fight 8 times, brother. I'd have watched the fight 8 times, because looking at the nuances, looking at it, you know what I'm saying? And see if my scores were correctly. I gave Cruz the 1st, the 4th, the 10th, and 11th. But Tank was on cruise control from round 5 to 9. He was on cruise control. And when I saw the Showtime people give Cruz the 8th round, I was like, what the hell are y'all looking at? What the hell are you looking at where you actually gave Cruz the 8th round? Man. But I know D-Hive thinks Tank, fought like shit, but for me, I looked at it, he was boxing. I looked at it and he was actually, you know what I mean? To me, it was beautiful. His footwork, people talk about Loma footwork. Tank was showing people some things.
He got
The
some
way he was slipping. He was
Yeah,
making that
Tank,
boy miss so much. He was slipping in and out of him. He was turning him. It was beautiful ballet, man. I loved
yeah,
it.
he was
Tank fought like shit because he broke his hand. I'm not saying that he fought like shit because he's not talented. I'm saying he struggled and he fought like shit in the fight because he had no choice. He literally broke his hand on a dude's guard. I
so
mean, there's no
like
issue. Like, there's no issue in saying that. And personally, I think that aside from him breaking the hand, he puts Cruz to sleep either way. I didn't even have this going to a decision initially. I thought Tank would get rid of this dude around the seventh, but around the time where he landed the shot where he was supposed to get rid of him, he just happened to break his hand.
Did y'all notice when he was backing Cruz up, Cruz had nothing. When every time Tank decided to back him up, what Cruz do? Go backwards. When Tank decided to put on the offense, nothing Cruz could do to stop him. Tank was just playing the bull to the matador, letting him swing, counter him, movement. But I know if he had a whole camp for Cruz, it's going to be a spectacular knockout. Even with that little turtle shell defense. The thing about what made Cruz so tough, because he's 2 foot tall, he has barely any visible body parts that Tank could hit. This is why Tank is so successful with taller fighters, because they have more body exposed. But either way, I want this because I know these Mexican fans, these Tank haters, they believe Cruz won, and I need this to be Tank's Maidana, run that rematch, knock him out, and then the game more fans.
But you already know media already saying, "Oh, he not fighting Lomachenko," because look at Lomachenko's opponent, Richard Coleman. Richard Coleman's such better opponent than Cruz. They say all types of weird shit. I'm like, man, I just don't see it.
What I don't understand about that situation is that for Devin Haney, they said that you should have signed with Top Rank for that fight. But they're like, oh, we'll make the Tank fight, though. I'm like, oh, interesting. I mean, I think Lomachenko gets beat up either way, but I'm just like, it's real interesting how you know when to cross promote, but then you don't know when to cross promote. Like you just cut it on and off. Like, it's just really weird how they decide to work that.
Cross promotion, Top Rank, Tank versus Loma. If there's ever going to be a Tank versus Loma, it has to be on Showtime.
Yeah, and they know that. That's why they always talk shit. And the truth of the matter is that Lomachenko don't want to see Tank above 126. Outside of 126, Lomachenko gets slept, and they know that. At 126, when Tank was just developing, maybe Lomachenko would have had a chance to decision his ass. But now, oh hell no, you don't see that shit.
The only way I think they get away with having it on Showtime and not having to be a joint promotion with ESPN is if Tank beat Kambosos and get those belts. And then he has all the leverage. Right now, the Bob Mafia will slither there. Well, it got to be a joint. It got to be this. And that's probably the sticking point. But think about it.
Kambosos mandatory?
Yeah, the
WBA, the deal they made with him while he still had all 3 of those WBA belts, they said, you know what I mean, you got to drop a belt, which was crazy. They let everybody else keep belts for, or it was racist, basically. So they say you got to drop one after the fight. Why wouldn't they let him walk into the ring against Cruz with all 3 belts? That, you know what I mean, that highlights the WBA, dumbasses. That makes it even bigger, dumbasses. But yeah, so they said that they would make him a mandatory to the WBA holder that the belt he choose to keep. But either way, like I said, I really want the Tank Loma because I need Tank to shut these people up. I need people to see that Loma was propaganda or artificially anointed. He's a good fighter. He's never been the best. You can't call yourself the best when your last 5 fights were Comey, Nakatani, and T.O. was a 15-0 prospect. And then
say that shit too.
And Crowler and Campbell. Come on. None of these fights are. Listen, if you call yourself pound for pound #1 best fighter in the world, then you're supposed to fight top level opposition. So that way, no, you're not allowed to fight those bums, bum bash after bum bash after bum bash.
I'm not
Because
gonna
if you're going to call yourself the
No,
best, then you got to prove yourself against the best.
how
it
that
would be different if
bro.
Tank fought those guys. If Tank fought those guys, they'd have something to say about it. So
Yeah,
I
if
want Tank
if
and him to
Tank
get in
fought
there.
Luke Campbell, he would get no respect.
None,
I
none.
want to. I want Tank to get in there and he'll knock Loma the fuck out, and I want to see what the excuses are. But man, my bad, man. What's going on, D? What's going on, Art? Checkmate. What's
What's
up, man? What's
cracking?
What's
going on?
what's going on, my brother? Hey, it's gonna be a funeral on Twitter when Tank knock out Lomachenko. It's gonna be a funeral, and I'm gonna antagonize everybody I can. I'm gonna get blocked by so many people. It's gonna be a funeral.
Now
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do
Lomachenko,
the
and
same
they're not
thing.
gonna push. They're not even gonna. They're not even gonna push to make that fight because when Lomachenko, when they want to fight someone, they start pushing. They start negotiations. They make all kinds of little fucking side deals. Lomachenko just cloud chasing off a Tank name like Ryan Garcia right now. And the only reason why people even talk about Luke Campbell is because they need an opponent to rate Ryan Garcia against and Lomachenko. The truth of the matter is Luke Campbell is one of those people that had his most success in the amateurs. The man isn't shit. He hasn't accomplished anything as a
He's
pro. He lost all step-up fights
he
and has
has
no championship credentials. He's done
this
nothing.
nigga came out and said, "Oh, I'll come out of retirement to fight Tank." Nigga, Tank will fold you in 2 rounds or less. Tank will fold you in 2 rounds. You'll get stopped by Tank. Tank will
Who
stop him with two. Luke Campbell, Luke
Oh
Skywalker.
my god, Luke Campbell said that stupid shit.
Yeah, because
Oh
he
fuck.
was over there big up in Ryan to make himself look good. Talking about man, fuck and Ryan Garcia, that fucking fraud. Talking about he'll KO Cruz, he'll do this to Cruz. Cruz will knock you the fuck out, dude. Because he ain't going. And I'm tired of him running his fucking mouth. Instead of get your bitch ass in the ring and fight somebody, dude. If you all this, did you say are you gonna get depression again? You're gonna cry, you little pussy. You're gonna cry again before your fight ends. You're gonna break your hand, beating your meat or some shit like you did last time. Fuck out of here, nigga.
Well, Tank will put him in depression,
Oh
and Cruz will
shit.
put him. I will actually put money on Cruz to beat Ryan Garcia.
Oh yeah,
He got too
no
much
doubt, Chuck.
body exposure. Listen, Cruz was hitting Tank all on the sides, on his hips, and he was hitting a lot of low blows. Right now, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm a person. I like the kind of dirty tactics. Be honest with you, I'm used to Mike Tyson getting people with the elbows and not getting caught. So hey, if you can get away with it, you can get away with it. But I noticed the ref never warned him once, and I'm just thinking, why didn't Tank give him low blows back? That was my only thing. And then the ref actually warned Tank when he actually wasn't really low. But I believe Cruz would definitely be Ryan.
I think that's gonna be his return fight. And I
The
feel like
hell no, it's
like
not. No, it's not.
yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's probably not. Hell no.
No.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
they scared of
hey,
Cruz,
Art, that'll
man.
be
No.
that'll be his return fight and his retirement fight all in one.
Shit.
Hey,
If that happened, dude, that would be fucking crazy. And then they set up a Javante Davis versus Tank in May.
listen, JoJo talk about he want Cruz. Now, I would see that. Cruz, I would favor Cruz.
I
I would favor Cruz to beat JoJo, and I want to see it.
beat Cruz.
Yeah,
Huh?
I favor JoJo the decision Cruz.
Ooh,
Yeah, he
I'm
might
gonna.
decision
Ooh,
Cruz.
hey, I guess I'm gonna be betting you guys $1 or something. Yeah, because I'm gonna put money on it, but on the books. But I will have a friendly little wager with you guys because I just think I'm not that high on JoJo.
He's an Olympian, right?
Yeah, he's
Isn't he
an
Olympian?
Olympian.
Yeah,
Diaz is an
I
Olympian.
just never.
He could have boxed Cruz.
I'm just not that high on him. I think he gave Devin good work. I think Devin won, but he hurt Devin a couple times, especially in the 12th round as well. But I just believe
Checkmate. What you think,
Cruz.
man? I'm sorry
What?
to cut you off. You think we should put some more money on Browne or what?
I told you. I've told you I'm betting 300. I might up it to 4 because the weigh in, his focus, his rededication, and his talent. And I never put stock in the Olympics and stuff like that. But Browne is an Olympian. Nobody ever says anything about that. But they're always, you know what I mean? I don't care. Honestly, I don't care about the amateurs. That has no bearing. But that's what people try to do to fluff up people's resumes like Loma, who's only got 17 fights.
or 18
honestly,
fights.
the reason why I rated Brown so highly is because he's been in just simply because he's been in with people that are, well, I think better than Beterbiev. Like to keep it 100, I
Badu,
think
Jack, and Pascal. Yeah.
yeah, to keep it 100, I was gonna say I think honestly, the Pascal that fought Badu Jack, even though I thought he lost that fight, he might fuck around and get on Beterbiev ass. Like you see those crazy, I mean, because I believe I believe that Pascal fights in the Southpaw stance. You see, like when he just puts his head down, those crazy ass overhand rights he throws. I think shit, he might fuck around and get on Beterbiev ass.
Well,
Yeah,
but
he was juiced to the gills in that fight.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm putting my art, man. If you ask me, brother, go for it. I'm going for it. I think it's an easy win for me. I got a good feeling about this because nobody's giving Marcus Browne a chance. And I don't know if this is across racial lines, but it seems like a lot of the brothers are choosing Marcus Browne, and the others and everybody else is choosing Beterbiev.
Well, the thing
Nah.
about Beterbiev really is Beterbiev. Who has he really like? They love to say who has he fought, but who has Beterbiev fought? He ain't really fought nobody.
15 fights.
One
Him
guy.
and Bivol,
About one
him and
guy.
Bivol could have unified the division for undisputed, but nobody was pressuring them to do that. You know, nobody had that same energy that they have for Bud and EJ. Oh, you guys need to fight. Oh, you guys need to fight. It's been fucking years, and both them motherfuckers haven't even. They ain't fought each other, and they ain't fought nobody either. So, Marcus
And also,
Browne.
I'll say, oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say Marcus Browne, like they love to say he's an Olympian. You know, he's very skilled, and with Derek James, I can see him getting this W. Because one thing about Derek James is that he teaches. He's a great offensive coach and defense. He does little defensive maneuvers that a lot of people don't give him credit for. You know, he teaches them solid fundamentals. And Beterbiev, he's chinny. People don't say Beterbiev chinny, but this motherfucker's been down by
He's
fucking
been down
bums.
twice in 15 fights by two different
the best
fighters.
those hooks.
He's always off balance, and the reason being because he throw with all his might. He sort of he wings it like Cruz do. When Cruz was off balance a lot because he's winging with all his might, going for the gusto, and that's Beterbiev. Beterbiev will wing it with all his might, and he's off balance. And if you're a good counter puncher, you can cap him.
Yeah. And also, a lot of black people have been capping too, because a lot of them motherfuckers been picking Beterbiev just to try to avoid the residual backlash because Beterbiev is the favorite in case Browne lose. So I wouldn't be giving out that much credit. I've been seeing a lot of buffoonery. They're like, oh, Beterbiev's obviously gonna watch Browne. I'm like, all right, yeah, keep maintain. I want everyone to maintain the same Beterbiev would break Canelo's neck energy after the fight over. I want to maintain that. I want you to maintain that same energy. This guy y'all was just talking about beats fucking prime Canelo. Just remember this.
Listen, they are only choosing Beterbiev and looking at Marcus Browne because of the Pascal fight. And because of the Pascal fight, they think Marcus Browne is just garbage. But they didn't look at the Pascal fight, or if they know that he was winning even at the time that they stopped the fight. I mean, well, actually, he was down by 1 point. But think about that's with 4 knockdowns. So they look at that, but they not realizing how many, you know what I mean? So Marcus Browne is very skilled. And like I said, now he's even more skilled than he's ever been because of the tutelage of Derek James and down there with Earl. And he's dedicating his grind in Dallas and he's putting in that work. So this is a story of redemption. Now I'm going to go ahead and see what the ring people and all, you know what I mean? I'm going to check the Monteros, and even though he got me blocked, I can still, check that fool. So
Montero,
I'm going to check these guys to see what they say before and what they say after, and I'm just going to clown them.
Hey, I just dropped another 50 on that, man. Because I like the conversations we having, man. And I'm one of those boxing fans that's like a real life. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is if I'm picking somebody. These dudes just be trying to pick it for the popularity, and they don't want to. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to say Beterbiev gonna knock out Browne to these guys.
Because they just don't want to be wrong by themselves. They just want to keep going along with the consensus so they don't have to look bad or stand on what they actually think. Like I have no problem picking a strong underdog. Like I thought that Beterbiev being the heavy favorite was disrespect to Browne. I'm like, wait, what? So because
It
Browne took a
is.
little bit of just like Browne, it's the same like when Ugas came back. Ugas had 2-3 years out the game. People are like, oh, Ugas ain't shit. Now look at him, man.
And the thing is that a lot of like I put that tweet out, and I was trying to give dudes benefits of the doubt, but these motherfuckers don't know boxing. These niggas, they can't explain to you why they pick the things they pick. They pick it off, like you said, popularity, and they pick it because they don't want no
That's it.
backlash. And you can't. And the motherfucker, they love to say, "Oh, you don't know boxing." Okay, let me put my knowledge up with your knowledge, and then we'll see. We'll see who
That's
knows
their
more
number
boxing.
one thing when you disagree. You don't know shit about boxing. But first of all, you didn't dispel anything I said. You only say I don't know anything about boxing because that's your opinion. But you not about the facts that I lay. So that's the whole thing without the Beterbiev and Marcus Browne. No one is comparing skill sets. No one is comparing, the jabs, the footwork, the movement, the combinations. Only thing they're thinking about is power. And the only thing, but they're not thinking, no one thinks about Beterbiev as being vulnerable. No one thinks about the fact that he's been down twice in 15 fights by two different fighters. They don't think about those things. The only
And
thing
those,
because of the propaganda media artificially anoint this guy as as this big, strong Russian bear, indestructible. Well, you know what? If Marcus Browne put the game plan together and fight Beterbiev sort of like Earl Spence fought Mikey Garcia, it's a wrap.
And also, they're everyone much like Triple G, Lomachenko. They're rating these dudes off a single win. I'm like, again, this dude has only fought one fucking person, and that person's only fought one fucking person. They keep talking about resumes. They're like, oh, Gvozdyk is better than anything Marcus Browne has done. I'm like, okay, so I can tell right then you haven't been following Marcus Browne's career, because Marcus Browne was fucking Marcus Browne was a big goddamn deal till he got in a little bit of trouble. But that's why. Why do you think it only took him one fucking fight to be ready for a double unification? Like, people don't understand. Like, Marcus Browne didn't take a bunch of time off. Like, he took a little bit of time to handle his personal issues, had one fucking fight, boom, title shot. They don't just hand out title shots to black fighters these days, in case y'all didn't notice. So clearly Marcus Browne and Derrick James got a level of confidence that people aren't taking into account, because he could have done something else. He could have fucked around at 175, fought some other people. Like, look at Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter been a top 10 for a minute, and he doing whatever just to stack bread. They could have taken that route, but no, they had one fight, double unification with people who say is the hardest puncher in boxing. That's not a fucking heavyweight. So yeah, man.
I'm looking forward to the I told you so's, because again, nobody has questioned skill strength. Who's faster? Who got the better foot movement? Who's got the better jab? You know what I mean? Beterbiev is stronger. We know that. That's the obvious, duh. But what is beyond that? And no one, who's got the better stamina? No one thinks about any of this. Only thing they think about is what the propaganda media tell them. And they tell them that 15-0 with 15 knockouts, he's indestructible. But yet Gary Antoine Russell can be 14-0, 14 knockouts, destroying everybody. They don't even whisper his name. They did the same thing with Virgil Ortiz and Berlinga. Oh, they was on these knockout streaks. They mentioned them. They mentioned them the same breath that they mentioned Beterbiev. They never mentioned Gary Antoine Russell. You know what I mean? So
they never
that's what I
Wilder.
say. Yeah, that's a whole nother.
They never mentioned Wilder.
Right there.
Man was on
a whole different
KO
story,
streak.
And,
41
Virgil
knockouts
Ortiz,
and 42 wins. Right.
I'm gonna say this. I was just gonna say Virgil Ortiz is ducking Boots Ennis. So he's ducking Boots Ennis. He don't want no work with Boots Ennis. He turned down Bud. He turned down Avanesian for wasn't a mandatory spot or something, or shot at the title or something like that.
A title eliminator. Yeah.
Well, all I know is I actually like Virgil. I'm not a fan of Berlinga. I don't think he's that talented. Virgil Ortiz, he's got some talent. He reminds me a lot of Conor Benn. Virgil Ortiz and Conor Benn, their style.
Disrespectful.
You know what I mean? They're both full of energy. You know, so I like him, but no, Boots definitely decapitates him.
Yeah.
I
If I
like
was
Virgil
Virgil,
too,
I'd
but
be offended.
Hey, yo,
I
you can
like
say
Virgil
what you
too,
will
but he's
about Connor Ben. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Alan.
Connor Ben ain't
I
shit.
was just gonna say I like Virgil too, but I can't deny those facts, man. They trying to put Virgil or they trying to put Boots on EJ, but it's like these. I know Boots will take a shot, but I don't think Virgil really he don't believe he's ready yet because he's calling
Hey,
out Crawford, and he turned it down.
I can already see the future. They're gonna say because Virgil's probably gonna get better opponents than Boots because people are gonna view
Yeah,
him as an.
Virgil's resume is better because they see him as an easier touch. But my
So
bad, Rick.
when we say, hey, Virgil needs to fight Jerron or Jerron needs to fight Virgil, they're gonna be like, whoa, who has Boots fought? You can already see it. It's coming.
And I don't even think that Virgil Ortiz's resume is necessarily better. I mean, I think that Lipinets could probably take anybody you put on Virgil's fucking resume, and that includes fucking Green Beans. Like I said, when Green Beans was undefeated, he wasn't shit. But as soon as he loses to fucking Virgil, all of a sudden, oh, this is the guy that hurt Crawford. Nah, man, fuck, you can't be doing that bullshit. And honestly, say what you will about Connor Ben. Now, Boots murks them both. That's just child abuse for sure. But
Yeah.
Conor Ben versus Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Because
That shit might not go
I,
the way you
I
think it's
would
gonna
love to
go.
see that fight. Their styles mirror each other. I would love to see that fight.
The reason why I give Virgil an edge is because I've seen him in trouble and he came out on the other end. He showed me something in that fight. We've never seen how Conor Ben reacts to getting, rocked. So we don't know what kind of heart he has. And let's
Because
be
Connor
real,
Ben,
UK fighters are not known for that.
no, they
You
UK
know
fighters, their
this.
heart is questionable. Connor
Yeah.
Ben, he's calling out Adrian Broner, he's calling out all these other dudes. Man, he don't even want no Abenesian smoke, and he trying
Hey,
to do
we
some bullshit to not get him to not fight this motherfucker. So
can't question Virgil's heart. He got heart.
How
This
much
is the
heart do
thing.
we have
Virgil and
really?
Ben, they're both on the zone. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be no problem being able to make that fight. But again, I this is how I operate. The way my mind works. Resume is the last thing I think of because before your resume is built over time, but you have to have the skill, and and the talent and the skill to even progress to even gain a solid resume. So when I noticed, the Gary Antoine Russell, when I noticed Tank when he was 7-0, when I noticed Boots, you know what I mean, before he was on the radar, I noticed people based on skill, and that's when I follow them. So the resume is going to come with time. So I just know, look at Boots. Boots got 28 wins and 26 knockouts. And and he was invisible up until in the mainstream he was invisible up until the Lipinets fight, and you know what I mean. But me, I'm saying why are they calling this guy a prospect? But yet they got all these Eastern Europeans with 6 wins in a title and 8 wins in a title, but yet they calling this guy a prospect
they got
because
Stan.
again they're not giving him the opportunity.
And to
So
add to your
I
point,
have
check.
to level that out. I have to level his talent and his skill and equates it. Okay, how has he performed? He's performed, he, light years above his competition each time he stepped in the ring. So this is when I have to average out. So okay, he doesn't have the resume. But he's showing me his skill sets, and that's what matters for me.
To add to your point, check. They got Stanionis 13. Ain't he like 13 wins or something? And
Yep,
he was fighting on Boots
13-0.
undercards. Now he getting a title shot before Boots. And a lot of times I wouldn't put it on EJ or
Look at his
Bud
skin
or
color. That's all.
Ugas to not. I'm saying I wouldn't put it on EJ or Bud or Ugas to not fight Boots. I'm putting it on the censor bodies today. They're giving opportunities. They're having people skip the line. Boots will beat the shit out of Stanionis.
Yeah,
Stanionis
he will.
arguably lost to Delorme. And you saw
Yeah.
what Boots did to him. And when I think about the eye test, I believe that, and to me, the eye test is you can see somebody has skills, of course, against lower opposition, but how does that skill translate to the upper echelon? How do you implement those skills against top 10, top 5 champions? You know what I'm saying? So
The
the eye
reason
test. Go
Yeah.
ahead,
It's
Doug.
very rare that somebody is super talented that you can see that they got it. They got it. It's very rare that that person doesn't progress, to star status. So the resume comes with time because you can see, and then you start, okay, this person versus that person, skill sets versus skill sets. You know what I mean? Styles make fights and so forth. But
Yep.
with Boots, I don't have to look at his resume and down him, degrade him like the media do. Oh, he's that because I haven't fought nobody. I look at him and says, what does he do good? What does he do better than the people who are ranked ahead of him? You know what I mean? How, hypothetically, how would they handle each other if they were in the ring? So I don't know. This is how I've always been because I believe resumes a lot of times with the rankings, they're bought and paid for, and people be put in positions that haven't earned it. And all of a sudden, this person got a belt. Well, it's the belt don't make the fighter that make the belt. Look at Jeff Horn, Charles Martin. These guys aren't legitimate, but they call them champions. Richard Comey isn't legitimate. You know what I mean? He won a vacant belt on his 30th fight, and he lost it 2 fights later. You know what I mean? To
Look at Isaac.
a prospect named Tio, a 14-0 prospect named Tio. So
Look at
that should
Isaac
tell you.
Dog Booty.
Yeah. And also,
Now see, okay. I have to confess, I thought Isaac Dogbo was going to be the man. So that's when I got wrong. I could be wrong sometimes. Hey, I'm human.
I never saw anything special about Dog Booty. That's why I always called him Dog Booty.
Listen, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was all on knee high. I was on the knee high train. You know what I'm saying?
But the reason why I feel like Boots is a can't miss prospect, no, not prospect, but fighter, is just his work ethic. Like, no disrespect to Tank, but like he has a lot of people around him to make sure he's like on the right path. You don't have to do that with Boots. Like he's got and he's got like a family full of boxers that he can watch their mistakes. Doesn't he get 2 brothers that fought, right?
His whole family fucking fight. His dad, his grandfather. He's got like 3 brothers, his cousins. I think everybody but the women fight over there.
Yeah,
his dad be in the ring sparring with his students. So, and he's 60, almost 70 years old. He's still doing that.
Yeah, it's like the Gary Russell family. Everybody fighting. Iron sharpening iron.
Yep, the people in that gym literally have to kick him out of the gym. He's always in the gym. Like he was in the gym the next day after knocking out Delorme. Like it's not many people with that kind of dedication, with that talent to go with it.
Well, that's because the fight took 2 seconds. Yeah, the nigga was dusted in like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
that's true, but
Well, I tell you, like I said, Dogbo is the only Dogbo, however y'all pronounce it. But that's I say my eye test showed me the fights that I saw him. He was knocking dudes out, and I only saw him for like 2 fights. I saw 2 of his fights, and I was like, this guy is it. Next thing you know, he gets starched by Neverete. Gets starched, not once but twice.
Pops, I got that on video. I was watching it with my pops. I was telling my pops, I'm like, yo, this little African dude, he pretty gold, he pretty decent. Go in there and get whooped. My dad was like, you sure this is your guy? I'm like, man, Dad, I ain't gonna lie.
Y'all just had to watch more of his fights. I followed his early career. That's why I was like, yeah. I was like, nah.
I only saw 2 of his
Booty
fights before Neverete.
Yeah. See, I've like much like Macabooty. I followed Dog Booty's career. That's why I was like, nah, he ain't gonna get it.
Yeah. How many
the thing about
good African fighters have there been? We got Azuma.
Azuma Nelson, Icorte.
Well, also we got to take into account Mugabe, but also Muhammad Quality, I think, is originally from Africa. But also we got to take into account like half the UK's stock is directly from Africa or Jamaica. So we gotta start claiming them niggas. Like I'm no longer gonna sit here and be like, oh, Lennox Lewis is from the UK. No, the niggas from Jamaica. Okay,
he's Jamaican,
I ain't trying to hear that bullshit talking about, oh, well, the UK has no, you niggas don't have that. Okay, you want to talk about your protectorate over Jamaica or how the Queen runs the Caribbean? That's whatever. But the truth of the matter is he's from Jamaica, and I gotta look up Nigel Benn because I don't think he was born there either. I gotta see.
this is my thing about African fighters. 9 times out of 10, I pick against them because if they're trained in Africa, if it's an African fighter and they're trained in America, then I know they're going to have the proper training. I know they're going to have the proper competition. But when you're in Africa, you know what I mean? The facilities lacking, the training is lacking, the competition is lacking. I think I said it before. Was it
They just have
yards? Tunde? Does Tunde train the
Whoa,
guy?
who's spamming the
Take
back chat?
I have no
like like Tunde. I can't stand that guy. He's a horrible trainer. You know what I mean? He wasn't even sparring. He wasn't even letting. Oh, we want to save it all for the fight. So my whole thing is this. With African fighters, and this is where the the dog bait thing came into play. He was trained by his dad in Africa. Enough said. And so when things, came time to show and prove, never let they, put their wood on him. So I don't really trust African fighters unless they're trained in America.
And also, one of the things that like when we talk about Boots, also one of the things when we talk about Boots is that Boots is someone who struggles to get fights. So like professional fighters kind of snitch on themselves and tell us who's good. Like Tank
Hold
could
up,
barely.
D. Hold up, D. Get this nigga the fuck out of here. Get the fuck
Yeah,
out
I
of
don't
here,
know
dude.
how. I don't know
This
how he
fucking
even
weird
he
ass
just
dude. Get out of
clicked
here,
the
bro.
link and started typing shit. But yeah, one of the things about it is that professional fighters snitch on themselves and kind of tell you who's who and who's what by who can get fights. Like Beterbiev can still get fights. Samuel Vargas can still get fights. Adrian Granados, fucking Green Beans, Derek Chisora, Gabriel Rosado, all these motherfuckers can get fights. Boots,
Yep.
I like that you said that, D, because you brought up a good point. Barry Villa, the so-called boogeyman, is still getting fights. And I
niggas
saw
still
this
gets.
dude. I saw this dude say, "Well, Pedraza has a better resume than Tank." That's because he's fucking food. After
It's my
Tank beat him,
point.
everybody wanted a shot at him just so they could compare that shit to Tank. If
Exactly.
Tank,
Like if we talking
oh,
about fucking Gabe Rosado, this nigga's fought everybody. We talking about David Lemieux. Yeah, he's got a good resume because the nigga's known for fucking he loses. So and the professionals snitch on themselves. Like all these motherfuckers can get fights. Tank at certain weight classes can't get fights. Devin Haney can barely get fights. Boots can't get no fucking fights. Gary Antoine Russell can't get no fucking fights. Frank Martin can't get no fucking fights. Ain't nobody calling out Batman Big Gary except Tank and Haney, and we all know what that's about. Shakur Stevenson
man,
can't get no fights now. Andre
That's the
can't get no fights
MPF
now.
list.
Yeah,
yeah,
so we
That's
we
the
know what it
MPF
is.
list. That
Frank Martin is
what's
a
his name?
fucking beast, though.
Cameron Duncan. Cameron Duncan put it out there. Did you see that the vid I put out there, the snippet of that, Art man?
I heard when he said he spoke to the best promoter in the game, which is I already know exactly who he's talking about.
Yeah, I put pictures to it and everything. So I actually have the Devin Shakur. I
Shit,
had
shit then.
Haney to it.
Shit, Shakur needs to fight some fucking Mandos and get ready to challenge the winner of Kambosos Lomachenko. He gonna have to stay his ass on the shelf because
He
they
should
already
go for that
planning on.
IBF belt.
He
He should
should
go for
no.
that IBF belt.
What? Who is it vacant right now at 130?
No, the 130 that Japanese dude won that, right? I think the Japanese dude won the IBF belt.
Oh well, that dude's on the zone. I mean, that dude's probably independent, but he just fought on the zone. I don't think the zone gonna let that happen because
Yeah, Tank's old belt.
yeah, Shakur will tear his ass apart. But nah, Shakur needs to just go ahead, chill, get some Mandos so he can satisfy the requirements for challenging at 135. So after Lomachenko and Kambosos fight, he can go up there and either force one of them to vacate and get some real smoke, or he could just fight Lomachenko and whoop his ass.
Next fight Lomachenko has, he's getting folded.
Listen, I am not a Richard Comey fan. I think he's athletic. He's very athletic, but he's lacks. You can see that he lacks the talent. You know what I mean? He lacks the skill. He'll throw a jab, but his foot placement, his recoil, his wide punches. You know what I mean? It's just so many things that was wrong. His balance, there's so many things that was wrong because again, he's an African fighter who wasn't trained in America.
Yeah,
So
Hey,
these are
Look at
naturally
Patrick
things
Alote.
that, huh?
I said, yeah, look at Patrick Alote. That dude,
Yeah.
what the
So
fuck?
one thing I will give Lomachenko credit for is he's fighting in a weight class that he probably shouldn't be in. So he's fighting bigger, stronger guys. So he has
That's
to
real
go off.
talk.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's real talk.
You want to be pound.
that's why I picked Teofimo to beat him, because I felt like Tio was too big and too strong for him.
All things equal, he's a way better fighter than Tio.
Yeah,
Like
Absolutely. See,
yeah.
absolutely. He's
That's
more
real.
talented. He's better. But at some point, that power and that strength could wear you down. You know what I mean? Now, the funny thing is, Loma, he claimed about the fake injury, but I don't buy that bullshit. That was just like that Manny Pacquiao phantom injury versus Floyd, which he was throwing combinations, throwing everything. You ain't not once did he go to the corner and say, "Ah, my shoulder." So my thing is this: if you notice, he was just very hesitant because he's going up against this big, strong Tio, and Loma didn't punch for like six or seven rounds. But when he started punching, he started dominating. So that's to say,
Well, the
okay,
thing
well,
is
okay,
too. The thing about it is too, as well, is Tank is equally as skilled as Loma, but they don't want you to say that. They don't want you to admit that, and so he
Tank
gets
don't
in
the
there with.
even
footwork.
Tank don't even need the skills though. He touches Loma and Loma gets laid to rest. Like it's bad enough that Tank is already as skilled as him, but even if Tank wasn't, one stray punch and Loma's gone. Like
Luke Campbell had Loma hurt. That's
he's
enough said.
gone. Linares
Luke
had Loma
Campbell
hurt.
has. Oh yeah, Linares put him down. Pedraza gave him the panda eyes. You know what I'm saying? But the struggle against Luke Campbell, Pedraza, a 15-0 prospect named T.O. People say, oh, he wasn't a prospect, he was a champion. Well, he had just won prospect of the year, and he only fought 2 rounds against Richard Comey. He was still a prospect, because when I say a prospect, I mean you have not refined your skills. You still have development. Tio, to me, is still in his development years, and I think they rushed him. And I think, he probably wasn't going to reach his peak until about 18, 20 fights. But to all of a sudden thrust him into to the Loma fight, you know what I mean? He howling his horses. He think he made it to the promised land. That's why I said Cambosa was going to beat him, because I knew his limitations, and I was proven right in that. So with
The thing,
Loma is skillful, but Tank, like you said, Tank is just as skillful. For me, I think Tank is faster, Tank is quicker. Tank foot movement, Tank ain't doing no river dance, but Tank, you know what I mean? Tank foot movement. I made videos about Tank foot movement like 3-4 years ago. Well, 2018, when I first came over here. And the thing about it, I said Tank, his foot movement is elite. People don't notice these things. They don't notice the subtle nuances. They don't notice he's always on balance. When I say he's always on balance, when he get caught with good shots, where is he at? He's standing up. You don't see him wobbling like that. And he get caught with some clean shots, and he's because of his balance. He's a master of his balance. That's something that Loma a lot of times get caught straight up. Loma got caught straight up against Richard Comey several times. Nobody mentions that. Richard Comey was actually Richard Lomey. Richard Comey was actually piecing him up at times, and people
Sure was.
they wasn't even giving him credit for that.
Reach.
Richard Comey
And this
was
guy's slow.
rocked and had enough confidence to keep exchanging with Loma. So from a power perspective, that makes Loma look like some bullshit, to be honest. Like,
Tank
bro, like
deleting him. I'm telling you. Tank deleting that nigga soul. I'm telling you.
yeah, Tank
That's why
will
I
fold
said
Lomachenko. That's not even a
Tank.
question.
It is, and I can't wait to see that fight. I'm telling you. I want that because it's going to change the course of boxing. The reason being is going to reset it. I think Cambosa's beating Tio kind of reset boxing a little bit. I love the fact that the underdog won, because I felt
Nah,
like Tio should not have been pound for pound. You can't be a prospect, beat one guy, and all of a sudden you thrusted ahead of a Jamel Charlo who's got 3 belts, who just fought for undisputed. Come on, and you don't even listen. So y'all know my feel. I don't care about them propaganda pound for pounds, but I just know when I look at talent, Loma is talent. I believe talented. I just think Tank is more talented. Loma has nothing that
Tank does not possess, but Tank possess things that Loma don't possess.
Cambosis is gonna be Lopez 2.0 for me. It's just a continuation because I know Haney ain't getting the fight, so I'm not even really talking about the fight no more because I know it's not gonna happen. I don't think Tank is going to get it because there's a lot of other stuff that has to happen, and they haven't expressed enough interest. And I do think it is going to be Lomachenko. So I think what Cambosis is going to do, he's going to get in there, Doug Devin, not do the Tank situation because the Tank probably just has other interests. Tank and Team Mayweather have other interests, and he's gonna get in there and lose, and then it's gonna be like a fucking Teofimo Lopez 2.0. Doug Devin
Well,
lose.
what's the Leonard Ellaby said he had already been in contact with Lou DiBella. Lou DiBella said he had already been in contact with Al Heyman. So they have been talking, and they've been talking behind the scenes. They've been talking quietly. Lou DiBella, I put the video out there of him saying, on the Boxing Voice again that Tank would be hit, the biggest fight, by multiples for Cambosis. We'll see how it play out. But either way, Cambosis, he's not. I know he got the belts, but there are at least 4 or 5 other guys that'll beat him. So I don't. He's a tough guy. He's tough because he got heart. But what I saw against Teo, I saw a reaction. You know what I'm saying? I saw a reaction to a limited Teo. The reason why I say limited Teo because his mind was thinking I'm already there, and so he stunted his growth. Teo has really stunted his growth because he thinks he's there, and if you think you're there, you're not going to feel like you can get better, and you start to, He was smoking hookah for God's sake. You know what I'm saying? And he talking about his asthma and this thing like that. Yep, you out partying, smoking hookah. Come on, brother. So Cambosis will fall against Haney, Tank, and probably Loma.
I think he has the best chance against Lomachenko, which is one of the reasons why I think that his team is leaning in that direction. Aside from the fact that it is the WBO and Bob is politicking, but stylistically speaking, I think that with his fast twitch reflexes, his quick reaction time,
Yes, he's very quick.
Yeah, I think he knows that he has the best chance against Lomachenko because Lomachenko, in order to have any success, he has to rush in on you. He has to rush in on you, make himself vulnerable. And I don't think Cambosis can pivot off angle when Lomachenko presses against the ropes, but I think he has enough to counter him on the way in and get some decent shots off. Because with
His size is just 0.2 up at home.
And more importantly, he won't get any backlash for fighting Lomachenko instead of going down.
Right. If he loses to Tank or he loses to Haney, he already knows the public is gonna say, well, nigga, you suck dick anyway. So you were never the guy. Teofimo was always trash. Like he knows that his reputation will be in the dumpster, and it's a higher risk fight. Fighting Haney or Tank especially. I don't really give him that much of a chance. I mean, with Haney maybe, but he keeps his hands too low. And Haney will just snipe you on the fucking eyeballs. So it's like it's not a good situation.
Tank will get him out of there in 6.
But you're in the minority.
Says Jeff Ford 2.0.
Hey, y'all know we're in the minority, right? Most people think Loma. Most people would think Loma is the harder fight. Like a lot of people view Loma as the best lightweight.
Yeah,
and we should.
That's because they follow this propaganda pound for pound list. That's why.
Those same motherfuckers are literally saying no one at 135 beats Lomachenko when the nigga just took an L at 135.
They're still calling Loma the best lightweight now. I'm like, off his win off of limited Comey. Like these people just, man, I'm telling you, they drive me crazy. I mean, like, what do you think?
Opponent, Comey or Diaz? Well, Comey, he was a champion before.
I don't put stock in those. Y'all know that, man. Comey is unrefined.
Teo got him out of there in 2. Teo got him out of there in 2. And they don't say that. I'm gonna start calling them Grand Wizard Twitter because it's basically what it is. All them reporters,
don't leave them out.
Yeah, Coon Twitter, Grand Wizard Twitter, all them dudes. They got that. All them writers and stuff. With that, man, these dudes don't care about boxing. They don't know boxing. They don't care about boxing.
No, they don't.
Hey, what do y'all think about?
Just because you're on. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just gonna say just because they make you think you're on the outside with your opinions based off the knowledge that you have the things that you see, they try to make it seem like you're some casual. But you niggas can't fuck with me. Y'all couldn't fuck with me in no debate, no boxing conversation. Get the fuck out of here.
And I'm
What
gonna
do you?
get. I know my man was about to chime in. Just 10 seconds. I went because I don't know if you're going to another subject, but I was going to say if Kambosos lose to Tank, Loma will fight him next. Loma will fight him next because he likes to piggyback off of roadkill. Go ahead, my man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do y'all think of Lalos?
Who?
Oh, I don't even want to promote
No,
him
who
on
is
here, man. Fuck
who
that
is
Yeah,
motherfucker.
I
Lalo?
get for that
Who is
dude.
that?
That don't worry about. Yeah, he
Bruh,
ain't nobody. He ain't
Oh,
he,
nobody. Don't worry about him,
he
Chuck.
he's
I
fucking
don't.
absolute.
I've never heard of.
Oh my god, he's trash. You
You're
can
lucky you
somebody
ain't
tag
heard of
him.
him.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody tag him. He's hot garbage. And you know what's funny? He didn't
What
come
what
out. He
weight
didn't.
what weight class?
No,
No, no, no.
he's a struggle. He's a
Hey,
struggle.
no,
He's
the weight class is 200 pounds, 200 plus pounds. That's the weight
Yeah,
classes.
he's a fucking struggle. He's a struggle YouTuber that's just biased toward all Mexican or Hispanic fighters. He defended Rolly from
Oh, you talk about the guy on Twitter. Okay, the guy
what.
on Twitter. Yeah, I smacked him around a few times.
And you know what's funny as fuck is he defended Rolly when the rape allegations first came out. He never made fun of Tiafimo for being humble despite getting his ass whooped, but he made sure to make something about Clarissa Shields. And also, what's funny is that on his Twitter, he posted, "It's my goal in 2022 to finally be in the same gym as Canelo." I'm like, this is what the fuck I be talking about. Today, Black Fight Fan had on Mickey Bay, BFTB had on Haney. Wilder's been on 78 Sport and a bunch of other stuff. I'm like, dude, your favorite fighters don't even fucking like you. Your favorite fighters, you're begging. You've been at this internet shit for like a decade, and your favorite fighters won't even talk to you. You're praying to God that you're in the same gym as them in 2022, and you've been at this shit since social media came about. I'm like, this is the critical difference. Our favorite fighters come and fucking talk to us. Southern T just had on Alantez Fox on his fucking show, did an interview with him, and our favorite fighters, our people, they come and speak to us. Your favorite fighters don't even want to be caught on the same internet as you. Tyson Fury.
Well,
Tyson Fury.
Lalo, Chicano Prophet. What's the other game?
I don't even
His
know
partner
that
for the
person.
Hispanic. Well, yeah. So they invited me to come over there and chop it up with them because they always disagree with me because they believe Canelo is God and all this, and talk down about Tank and Charlo. So I like to go in the Lions Den. I don't know. I enjoy being in the Lions Den. I enjoy being surrounded by four people who are against me because I don't know. I love that. So I'll go over there. When I go over there, I'll let you guys know when I'm over there.
But
They
the
really
funniest
hate
thing
Charlo.
is, yeah, they hate Charlo. But like I was saying, the funniest thing is like Canelo, Fury, like even Benavidez goes on Aki more than he goes on any of the other channels. So it's like, bro, these people that you're trying to big up, they don't even fucking like you, man. They don't
Because
even
they
want
They're
to
know
for
what
be in
they're
your.
La
about.
Raza.
They know what
They're
they're
only for
Yeah,
about.
La Raza. That's it. They
Well,
don't see anything else but ethnic group and the
yeah,
Mexican nationality, and
like
that's unfortunate
Canelo.
because as a black American, I love all fighters. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened I'm more attracted to style. You know what I mean? If you're a great fighter and you perform well, I'm going to recognize your talent and I'm going to like you as a fighter. You know what I mean? I know, like for me, I like Benavidez. You know what I mean? He's got some. I don't like his footwork. I think he's staying squares, but his punching ability and his toughness, I like Benavidez. So I don't have a situation where it's either all black or nothing. But a lot of those guys, they're about the racial thing. They only think if you're a Latino that they're going to root against for you regardless, and they're going to shit on the other person, especially a black American fighter, regardless. The Tank hate, I don't get it at all. They're talking about pay-per-view numbers, you know what I mean? And then I had this debate with this guy yesterday that Tank put 15,580 in a stable, or it wasn't a sellout, or they had this tier knocked out. They wasn't doing this. I said, well, if you look at the fourth quarter, the only people who did better than that was the 16 20 of Canelo Plant. Other than that, Tank has done better than everybody in the fourth quarter. And you know what I mean? So you got Loma only doing 8,555 and doing 50% capacity of the MSG. So Tank is doing this, his star power, bringing the stars on Sunday, and you still got to try to down. Oh, he didn't sell his pay per view, this and that. Well, the pay per view numbers didn't come out. So what are you counting? Rumors? Oscar De La Hoya did 240,000 pay per views on his 6 pay per view fight. His first pay per view fight, he did 330,000. So you mean to tell me 5 years later, he did his first, he did his in 1997, he did 240,000 now. So if Tank pulling 220 and and around the same range or whatever the case may be, so you want to compare him to Oscar? So you saying he ain't shit? You saying he ain't a pay-per-view starts? Tank has only done 3 pay-per-views. He just did his 3rd pay-per-view. You build it and they will come.
Yeah, like whenever dudes start talking about money and pay-per-views as an excuse for whatever their opinion is, I kind of just check out, because all I have to say is, first of all, Beterbiev, unified champion, y'all claim is the hardest puncher. Nigga will be fighting on Friday. In a way, some guy that's unified down at bantamweight, who you all have top 3 pound for pound over people like Errol Spence, the nigga was fighting on Tuesday and made less than $1 million with no pay-per-view access. So
wasn't even on American TV.
Even Bob Arum didn't give a fuck about that fight. Lomachenko and Teofimo was on a shitty fucking app. Y'all talk about apps. And fucking Kazuta Ioka and Annika Haas, not only was their unification not even really gonna be on fucking pay-per-view, I don't think, but this shit got canceled. So I say fuck off. Like whenever people start talking about money and pay-per-view as an excuse to form their boxing opinion.
I got to run real quick. I got to run real quick, and I'll catch y'all back.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, whenever people start talking about pay-per-views to that, like shit like that, to form their opinion on boxing, I'm just like, if you want to talk about the business as a business conversation, sure. But when you start talking about framing your perspective of a fighter, I'm just like, get that bullshit out of here. Get that bullshit out of here. You're not getting any of the fucking money. It starts to remind me of Bud fans. All they do is talk about Bud's split, how much Bud getting, how much Bud deserves. Nigga, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Nobody fucking cares, man. You're not getting anything. Like I said, if you're so worried about it, here's what you could do. Convince Bud to take the 40% split, since you all think that Spence the A side. Cash app the nigga the difference. That's all you gotta do.
These niggas turn into mathematicians when it comes to Bud.
Bro, they're all fucking auditioning to be Bud's fucking accountant. Like, look, tell the nigga to take the low split because Spence is the A side. Do the fucking math on the projections in the event. Cash app the nigga the difference. That's all I'm saying. Cash app him, and then we can move on.
Hell no.
They say they don't care about that, but then they'll argue up and down about what he deserves. But they're not telling them that they don't believe in Bud. I'm gonna be real with y'all. They don't think Bud can beat Spence. Then they keep talking about these injuries and all these injuries because they hope he's not fully healed. So when he fights Spence, he'll get the one upper hand. If they really believed in Bud like they said he is, if he was really pound for pound, and I like Bud, but I ain't gonna sit up here and deny. I'm from Texas. I'm from Dallas. I fuck with mine. I fuck with EJ heavy. But if it was on the other hand, I would tell EJ, man, take that 40% and whoop his ass, and then you get that in that rematch. You cement your legacy, because EJ has never said anything or done anything against what he planned for his welterweight run. Bud will go back and forth, up and down, whether he wants to fight or not. So either he puts up or shut up, or all he has to do is tell EJ send the contract, or he sends the contract or whatever. He can do all that talking on Twitter, but if they're not talking behind closed doors, then it's irrelevant.
And the worst part about it is all Bud fans are talking about is who Spence needs to be fighting. They talking about, okay, well, Spence should go fight Boots, and then maybe Virgil Ortiz. I'm like, God damn, while Spence is doing all that, what the fuck is Crawford gonna be doing? Waiting on Thurman to get finished bullshitting? Like, who the fuck is Thurman? Who the fuck is Crawford supposed to be fighting? God damn, like they ain't talking about a Crawford versus Virgil. They're not talking about Crawford versus Butayev. They're not talking about Crawford versus they're talking, man, what the fuck Crawford gonna be doing? Spence gotta clear these niggas out.
The thing is that, damn, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. The thing is that, let me get my point. Yeah. The thing is that they put EJ and Boots off on each other, but I say if EJ want to fight Boots, if Boots want to fight EJ, man, get in there, get that work. These dudes talk about EJ and Boots fighting, but they don't talk about Bud and Boots fighting. Come on now.
I would say, can y'all hear me? I'm driving, so I know it's like kind of squeaky and shit. But I would say they talking about that because it's clear that Boots is targeting Spence. He not targeting Bud. He targeting Spence. He trying to get that IBF Mando. So I think that's why them conversations start. But
He's
me
targeting
honestly,
everybody, Chet. I mean, he's targeting everybody, Midwest. He's targeting
yeah. But me
everybody, whoever
honestly,
wants it.
I don't truly see. I don't want to see neither one of them fight Boots and shit like that. I feel like they both beat Boots. If I'm being honest, and I don't want Boots to get beat this early. I don't think he should take on either one of them dudes.
I disagree. I disagree, Midwest, because I believe that if Boots feels he's ready, he wants to put himself in there. He can get in there. A loss won't define his career. And it'll only boost him up. We should give Boots the same treatment that Canelo got when he fought Floyd. If he loses, we're gonna boost this man up.
And also, the reason why he's targeting Errol Spence specifically is because Jaron Ennis is set to take the number one spot for the IBF, whereas Virgil Ortiz Jr. is the number one for the WBO. But Virgil Ortiz Jr. is not interested in title eliminators because if he wasn't gonna fight Avenizzi, and he got damn sure ain't gonna fight Boots.
And the thing is that when he fought Delorme, after Boots fought Delorme, he said, "I'll fight all these guys." And then Jim Gray said, "If you had to narrow it down, who would it be?" So they pushed him to narrow it down, which I have no problem with. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with that.
But he said he'll fight Crawford. He told Blue Blood that he'll fight Crawford. He was even kind of, I don't want to say he was making fun of Crawford, but he was critiquing Crawford's style. He was saying I feel like Crawford just turned southpaw after, a few minutes of orthodox fighting. He said, where I can actually fight both ways. I'm not just a guy who pretends to be orthodox for a second to see what I'm dealing with and then flip southpaw. Boots was talking about Crawford. He's like, I'm not like Crawford. I could actually fight both ways whole fight. And I was like, damn.
I like that type of talk. Boots. Somebody said Boots is like they created him in a lab with him and with fucking. They took a little bit of everybody and mixed them together so he could be the person that take out Boots and Errol. Bud and Errol. I like that analogy, saying this guy's like, kind of like them androids from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Yep.
He was created to beat these guys. I mean, he's a good fighter, man. Like, goddamn, like.
And that's what we was talking about, Art.
Of late.
And he's always in the gym. He's always working, perfecting this craft. And it's cliche to say, but when you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. When all he's doing is he tweets about the shit. If y'all follow Boots on Twitter, 48 rounds on the bag or something like that. He's always tweeting about running, hitting the bag, doing drills, and that's all he really posts. If he's not posting any family stuff, so like his whole family is bred for boxing. His brothers, his dad, he lives the sport, and I think that's what we should be highlighting because it's just like Floyd. Floyd would go to the club, and you think he has something in his cup, he'd have cranberry juice. He'd go running right after. He might run to his gym, So that's why Boots is going to be ahead of the game because not only is he talented, he got God-given power and skill. He has the size, but he has a work ethic,
He does. He's a big fucking welterweight.
Yeah, they say he punched like a light heavyweight, so.
Yeah, welterweight, I believe. I believe because he's big as fuck. It doesn't make no sense. I feel bad for dudes like if I hope when Boots move up to 154, Fundora's retired or some shit because man, he might actually break a foot off in Fundora ass, bro. It wouldn't even
Fundora down.
It wouldn't even be enjoyable to watch. It would just be like fucking just be 4 or 5 rounds of child abuse until Fundora finally died.
Man, shit. I don't know. Get my dude up here.
But one guy in the chat, I apologize. I think it was Jerome Truitt. He said, "How come cruiserweights and light heavyweights don't get that much coverage?" And the truth of the matter is in addition to promotional issues, a lot of the fights, it's kind of the same reason why the sperm weights don't get coverage is because number one, a lot of the fighters have the same leverages. They're around the same height. They have similar reaches and shit like that. So there's not a lot of style diversity. It's all a bunch of guys that kind of fight the same. There's a lot of trepidation from getting knocked out. A lot of them aren't fast. A lot of them aren't quote unquote slick. So there's not a lot of diversity. Usually, like for example, everyone at 168 is like from Europe. So they all kind of fight in the same fucking way, which is why it's boring. At light heavyweight, it's dominated by Russians. Like, don't get me wrong, they're strong Eastern Europe punchers, and then there's Joe Smith Jr. But Joe Smith Jr. up until he got like his fucking championships, nigga was working construction and shit. So how much entertainment you really getting from from the working man Joe Smith was his nickname for a minute. So and cruiserweight is the same situation. It's same height, same reaches, everybody's slow. No one's super dynamic. That's why Usyk got so much attention because he was the only one that showed any speed, any punch diversity, any real separation. Everybody else was kind of, it's kind of the same. Even though I thought Dorticos, the Cuban, the KO doctor, didn't get enough respect.
Didn't he get KO'd?
Yeah, he got rabbit punched by Gassiev.
Man, he fucking retired. He retired. What's his face? Andrew.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he fucked BD up, gave him his first loss, and he just fell off the map. Kind of like fucking Walters and Lomachenko. Walters beat Donaire, and then Lomachenko stopped him, and suddenly like Walters is dead. Like I don't even know what the fuck happened.
I heard there was something behind that too with Loma did to Walters, and there was a reason why Walters quit.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you and I know.
Yeah.
Shit,
Like I heard he might have not been training or whatever, something like that.
Y'all gotta put me up on that because in the back chat or something, because I don't know what the fuck happened. Because he got one lucky win over Donaire, Nicholas Walters fought this motherfucker, and then all of a sudden, whoop, disappearance.
Okay, so basically they said that Walters was on some like, I'll fight Lomachenko, but I need some real life money, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And they're on some like, nigga, we'll give you this. And then Walter was like, hell no. And then Walter was in a position where he's like, damn, I need some money bad. So he came back and they offered him even less money. And some people feel like he might have took a dive to get some more money.
Well, Bob was like, take this, you black bastard.
Yeah.
Pretty much. What's good, Trap? See Trap Media in the building.
I mean, shit, Walters, that was his only loss, and the nigga haven't fought since 2016. He been fucking off a lot of time. He's 35 now, but I'm like, damn, he retired.
That's what the streets are saying, Beehive.
Shit, man.
That's too bad, man. They don't talk about how much Top Rank fucks over their fighters. And nobody makes a big deal about it or anything.
That's because they're only fucking over black people now. When they were fucking over Pacquiao, it was a big ass deal. It was, oh my God, Pacquiao's being disrespected. Pacquiao need to leave. Da-da-da-da-da. When they're fucking over Mayweather, what they're doing to Shakur, Walter situation, they're like, be grateful, niggas.
Yeah. The fight tomorrow is on ESPN Plus, right?
To me, it's gonna be on fucking
whatever
Streamosaurus. Stream.stream, whatever the fuck. I ain't paying that bullshit.
I'll slide you some D.
7. What time do you think it's gonna be?
Well, shit, I'm on the East Coast, so I think for me, I think it starts at like 8 p.m. or some shit. I think. But that Madrimov, that Soro Madrimov joint, I think that come on like 10 in the morning. I'm gonna have to stream during work hours.
Wait, what time you think that Beterbiev fight gonna be on?
I'm looking it up right now. Beterbiev versus Browne. Date, time. All right. It is Friday, and for me it's 7 p.m. Eastern. So since you're in Minnesota, it's gonna be 6 probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, yeah, because I'm all the way East Coast, and you're kind of still toward the middle.
I'm kind of
So
Canada, nigga.
well, I just mean like Central Mountain Time, you know.
Man, it's good ass weed.
Yeah. So for
Could be
me,
a
yes.
fight, man. I just put
What's
150
up,
on.
Trap?
That's $1,000, dude. If he wins,
That's some good. That's some good earnings right there.
that's a good
I
art
can't.
arrow
I
right there. All on
yeah.
me on Marcus Brown.
I can't wait to hear. Like, it's funny because I just if Marcus Brown actually pulled this off, I can't wait for just the lack of respect he's gonna get. No one is gonna be praising him like he's the next best thing at light heavyweight or he's the new light heavyweight. He's not gonna get that much. They're gonna be like, oh well, you beat an old faded Beterbiev who had been through multiple wars.
The better be
Like,
if Vodchnik would have kicked his ass.
yeah. I'm just like, oh my god. I'm gonna be on it too. I'm gonna be like Browne versus Canelo.
Yeah,
Hey,
That's the fight.
I'm gonna be putting Brown up there, man. I'm gonna be like, y'all seen that video where dude's like, it means something to me. That's
nah,
how I'm gonna be like that. It means something to me. I think
yeah, it means something.
if I can find that, I'm gonna send it to y'all.
Yeah, I'll be like Browne beat the guy y'all said stops Canelo Alvarez. Fuck out of here. Browne's the man. Pound for pound, number top 5. Unified at light heavyweight. Bring on Joe Smith Jr. Bring on Bivol punk ass. Bring on all these motherfuckers. Let's get
And
that
then
I said
undisputed.
it a month ago. I said, man, if Brown win, is he gonna be in the Canelo sweepstakes? I don't think so.
Hell no. That's he gonna get his ass removed from the Canelo sweepstakes. He gonna be like, oh fuck no.
they're
Especially if
not
he
gonna
gets a
fight Brown. They're
So
not gonna fight Brown.
what is Canelo gonna do? So he's just gonna campaign that new cruiserweight?
he probably gonna go to he probably gonna go to Bridgerweight. What they gonna do? They gonna find some trash to fucking take out Oscar Rivas, like to decision Oscar Rivas or some shit, and then Canelo gonna go up there or whatever. Shit, if he takes one step outside of cruiser, I'm gonna be like Canelo versus Wilder.
Y'all don't think that's kind of weird that this guy came from like 147? Now you're talking put him in the likes of 200 pounds?
He came from 140.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, people forget this man came from 140. Like nobody else could do that. And they're talking about no one else is doing what Canelo is doing. There's a reason for that.
They don't
By
have
your
the clenbuterol in their system to do it.
yeah, by
These
your
these and these dudes talk about, oh well, Canelo's clean now. They raised the levels and they didn't tell nobody what the levels were raised to. Only Canelo and fat ass fucking fat fuck Suleiman knows what those levels are. So every time I guarantee you he be juiced to the gills, but they don't know. Or not even they don't know, excuse me, that they don't say anything. And he's supposedly clean.
yeah, by their logic, Crawford and Errol Spence should meet at light heavyweight for their scrap. by by their logic, those two should be fighting at light heavyweight by now and be unifying light heavyweight. That
You know
by
what
their
they gonna
logic.
say? Well, Earl, a weight bully. Earl used to come in at 190. He can do it. Earl used, Bud can eat a few sandwiches. They can do it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh well, shit. They could have easily come up to 168 and smoked everybody. I'm like, you know what? You're probably right. But would they have gotten credit? No. You think if Earl Spence went up to 168 and slaughtered the Royal Smith family and fucking planting all those motherfuckers, he would have got some credit? Hell no. They would have said he's destroying the weakest division ever, and he passed over all the good ones.
Exactly.
that's exactly what they would have said. I mean, shit. They were giving Mayweather some shit for not fighting Baldemir. Baldemir, nigga. Like, cause they were saying that he was like the last belt he needed to be undisputed and some shit. I'm like, bro. Not only did he already I think he already beat Baldemir's ass in an earlier fight anyway. But I'm like, bro, imagine if he did fight him. What would y'all say by him decisioning Baldemir? What would be gained? Nothing. You would say, oh look, Mayweather beating another fucking can. Good shit.
Shit. Tay Jones just put out a tweet. can't talk. I just learned. I learned a long time ago. You can't talk boxing with everybody, man. If that ain't the truth, man, I can't talk boxing with some of these suckers, man.
You really can't.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
hey,
don't know.
hey, Art, D, y'all know how many niggas want to fight me because of EJ versus Bud?
Oh my god, and it's sad because these are other black people. I'm like, dude, y'all are pathetic. I'm like, do you know that Bud doesn't give a fuck about you?
When I
Bud
tell
don't give a fuck about what you talking about.
you Biggie shit, this is like Tupac versus Big. I haven't seen a riff like this in the black community since.
It's terrible, and people are trying to do it with Tank and Haney. Like I noticed that whenever I say something about Tank that or not even honestly, I don't even have to talk about Tank. I could just talk about Mayweather, and people will assume I'm talking about Tank too. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is the matter with you? Like today when I was putting people on to Mickey Bay, the Mickey Bay interview with Trill, everyone assumed I was trying to shit on Tank. I'm like, bro, Tank is nowhere in the picture. What are you talking about?
Mickey Bay talking about.
Mickey Bay was just talking about all the things that happened to him while he was signed to TMT, and he wasn't even shitting on Mayweather. He said that Mayweather unfortunately doesn't watch the business super close, and Mayweather assigned one of his cousins to be Mickey's manager, and that cousin robbed his ass blind, and nobody wanted to help him. And then Ellerby and that cousin spread lies to Mayweather and got Mickey Bay fucked up. You know, they stalled his career. They took purse bids away from him. They stalled fights. They blackballed him on some Rigo type shit. And some people, you know, and that's the situation. And all I was saying was I completely understand why Devin Haney wouldn't even want to be in this environment. I'm not
And that's the
saying
truth.
that. Yeah,
That's the
I'm
truth, dude.
and yeah, and also I said that the only people that TMT cares about is Tank. I literally said the only person they don't treat like shit is Tank, and that's great. But I can't
You think
sit there and
Badu Jack gone?
Yeah.
huh?
He left. He left their ass.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that everybody gets treated like shit, but the point is people don't get treated, they're not given what they need and they don't feel like they're getting what they deserve, and that's the biggest thing. Because people were like, oh well Haney shouldn't have left Mayweather if he really wanted some Tank so bad. And I'm just like, well, the conditions weren't suitable. And now that Mickey Bay came out and told the story, I completely get it. I'm not saying they treated Haney like shit. I'm saying why even give them the opportunity? Because
And
we all
I'm
know
start
that if you're not Mayweather's favorite, you're gonna be his bitch. Those are your only options. If Mayweather doesn't like you, you're his bitch.
one thing too. I'm starting not to like the hash slinging slasher Leonard Ellerby. You know, he just turning me off, bro. I used to be like, cool, okay, Leonard Ellerby's cool and everything. He turning me off with his comments and the things that they're doing. You know, they disrespected Devin, and you don't see Bill Haney. Shout out to Bill Haney. He don't be disrespecting Tank like that, really.
Nope,
You know,
not at
he don't.
all.
He bigs up Tank. He bigs up. They should be doing the same thing for them. These are two young black men getting it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? They should be being lifted up by one another. You know, they should be being lifted up because Floyd knows this dude. Floyd knows Devin. Bill knows Tank. They both know each other. You know, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't be no real thing of you slandering his ticket sales and all this stuff. But you giving Isaac Cruz this work and Mario Barrios, them dudes weren't ticket sellers.
Yeah, I don't know what he talking about with that one. But you know, you got to say something to get the dogs off your back. But I just feel like it makes it worse.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is, like I said, I'm not even talking shit about Mayweather and Ellerby. I'm just talking about a man's experience because I like Mickey Bay. And I've been telling people before anybody said it that Mickey Bay whooped Cambosa's ass. He did. Mickey Bay whooped Cambosa's ass. And if not for the knockdown in the 10th, he would have won the fight, I think, in my personal opinion. And I don't even think that the knockdown was enough to sway it. But I think he was fighting, I forgot where he was fighting. But yeah, I think Mickey Bay whooped Cambosa's ass. And if not for all that bullshit, Mickey Bay will be in this conversation heavy. So you know, but yeah, no, like people whenever you talk about LB and Mayweather, people think you shitting on Tank. I'm like, no one's talking, bro. No one is talking about Tank. Tank is managed by Al Heyman, and he's under TMT Promotions in addition to his own promotion. Tank has very little control over the trajectory of his career while he's under all these fucking contracts. We're just talking about Mayweather and Ellerby and their relationship with other people, but dudes who are like dudes who have Tank beating Haney are like, you talking shit. Dude, I'm like, dude, oh my god, fucking Kenny. I'm talking about Mickey Bay and Haney. Somehow Tank get in there.
And the thing is that, you know, it's a lot of back and forth, and Leonard is going, the Hassling and Slasher is going back and forth with fans on Twitter about the pay-per-view numbers. It's like, why? For what? You know what these motherfuckers are about. You know why these motherfuckers are doing this shit. You got all these bitch ass niggas saying Tank ain't no star when he filled that arena the fuck out. Stop going back and forth with these dudes, man. Do your job and worry about the business. Stop worrying about these quote unquote fans that don't even like y'all in the first place. You know,
Right.
so
Quit bitching, just tell me the numbers. I said, nigga, who? When I seen
but
that
y'all don't
shit,
care.
dog, I'm like,
But
bro, who the fuck are you?
but Art, they don't care about the numbers when it comes to Earl Spence and Bud, the split and all that. Oh, we don't care about numbers. We don't care about numbers. But now y'all care about numbers now that it's Tank's pay per view that they don't know if it did well or not or whatever the fuck. You know, so these dudes
Does it?
don't have no consistency. They don't keep it 100. They don't know boxing. They let their racism and their
And
buffoonery show.
Also, one thing I heard, well, I saw on YouTube, someone made a video of Jermel Charlo potentially calling out Crawford, talking about 50-50. And I'm like, okay, so y'all said if EJ go up to 154, he's a duck. Now, let's see if that same logic extends to Crawford. If Crawford don't fight shit at 147 this year and says, fuck it, I'm going up to 154, is that or is that not a duck?
And he'll make the highest payday of his career with EJ.
40 well, 40% of EJ plus off the back end. Yep.
And that's what I was going to say. That's 40% of everything. Pay-per-view, merchandising, whatever. And then they talk about Bud doing all this fucking corny ass shit, all this capping, talking about this and this and that. You said you would never fight the dude. You said the fight was behind you and all this other stuff, man. It's just like, make up your mind. You know, you can do all this talking, but talk to this man. Say something to call this man. If he don't answer, then you call him out. You don't even want, I bet you ain't even called the man.
I just
But
don't
they'll
understand. I just don't understand how they see a video of Crawford at the beach doing nothing. They say, "Oh yeah, he's calling Spence out." They see a picture of Spence at the gym, but Spence ducking. What?
man, hey, let me tell y'all,
Like
fellas.
what?
I was on Champside's Instagram, right? You know, and I made a comment. You know, the big fish has spoken. This dude come here talking about, oh, we know who the real duck is, and he talking. I'm talking to him, and I'm saying, so who's the duck? The guy that says goes back and forth between whether he'll fight him and the fight will never happen versus the guy that says, you know, when this fight is, yeah, the fight will happen. I told you that you're gonna be last. I'm getting all these belts, and then I'm gonna come see you. You know, and he's talking about, well, oh, he fighting smaller guys and all this. He talking all this bullshit. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then but that's how these quote unquote Bud fans are. And these dudes aren't even Bud fans because when Bud talks about Canelo, they start shitting on him, you know? And let's be real. You put Bud in there stylistically with Canelo's style, he'll beat him. Bud will beat Canelo. If they were the same size, Bud would beat him. If Earl and Canelo were the
I
same size, they would beat him. What'd you say, Art?
I said the same thing.
And
Yeah.
they know that. That's why they talk. That's why Canelo talking about. Oh yeah, come see me at 160, nigga from 147. Oh my god, you
Boy,
pussy ass.
it would be some hell if Earl after he beat Crawford or whatever the fuck. Well, he after he beat Crawford, you know, he'll go up to 160 and fuck up Canelo. Boy, yeah, I'd be laughing my ass off. Boy, that would be so funny.
Canelo
And they
wouldn't.
would, uh,
Canelo ain't coming back down. He wouldn't do all that.
man, Art, Dirt, D, that happened. I'm a timeline menace, baby. I'm in this motherfucker, bro. They gonna kick me off Twitter, man. I'm gonna be harassing so many dudes. It's gonna be so funny.
I
But
don't understand how Crawford became the mascot for like coon bigot Twitter. I'm just like, damn, why do y'all use Crawford? I'm like, again, Crawford has never been on any of y'all channels. Crawford don't fuck with you. Nobody likes y'all. Y'all are
and the
trash. Like
thing
the reason.
is. I was just saying, the thing is that it's a pattern between these quote unquote Bud fans. This one dude, he don't like Wilder, he don't like Tank. Well, no, you know the two biggest Bud fans I see are coons. They don't like Tank. They don't like Wilder. They don't like EJ, and they always big up in some white fighter, but they'll shit on their own. I put
But
on
they're
a tweet. I
like
said, how?
Bud, which is
Yeah,
weird.
weird. And how can a man who hates his own self image love his people? That's coon shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's always disrespect with EJ. It's personal. It always turns to personal shit when they talk about EJ or Wilder. But I talk about Bud and him saying all these things, and these are facts because these came out of Bud's mouth. These aren't things I'm making up. But they get in their feelings like, oh, y'all hating on Bud. Y'all hating on Bud. And I saw even Bomac. I saw Bomac on the channel, loyal to the game. And they had Bomac on. And that's where that clip that said they went the easy route that came from.
Oh, it's
And Bomac
stupid
was just
ass.
like, man, every time you guys come over here hating on Bud. Hating on Bud. Like, bro, stop it. But stop it. They make Bud look so bad, man, because they just they get so emotional and rattled up, and they just get so disrespectful. And Bud, not only Bud's whole team does it. Bernie, Bud's sister, Bud's cousin, his nephew, Bomac. They just it's more to box. It's more than boxing with them, that don't sit right with me, man. Y'all disrespect this man. EJ never really disrespected Bud unless he was talking boxing. Like, oh, you too little, you like an ass. I'll punish you, I'll crush you. You know what I'm saying? But he don't say Bud. He don't do none of that stuff. It's evident in their character, and that's why I really can't rock with that.
It's funny because Vito on Twitter, he put up a post. He's like, keep it real. And then he put up a post about the split. All the Buff fans kept asking for 50-50. I'm like, bro, what about 10% more fucking matters to you, bruh? Like I said, cash app this nigga so we can move on with our fucking lives. I don't have time. Like, man, y'all really about to publicly give Bud an incentive to stall this fucking fight over 10 motherfucking percent?
And
Nigga,
that
what
10%, BFT broke it down and uses numbers. That 10% is only like $6 million. They don't talk about that.
I okay, like 6 million is still a lot of money, but it's not even the money. That's why I get so upset talking about the money. It's the principle of this shit. At 147, y'all all admit that Errol Spence has done the lion's share of the work. At 147, y'all admit Errol Spence is the A side, which is why you now say he's ducking. So whenever Errol Spence lays out A side terms, why the fuck do y'all start crying? You want to call the man the A side, tell him to make the fucking fight, but then when he lays out A side terms and asks for A side privileges, y'all curl up and cry like some bitches. Like, bro, make up your fucking mind, because if Terrence Crawford is the A side, he should march his ass down the PBC offices in LA like Canelo did and make the fucking fight happen with Heyman and give Spence a contract. If Spence is the A side, tell him to take 60-40, shut the fuck up so we can move on with our lives. It's literally that fucking simple. You have two fucking options. Just stop bitching though, talking about, oh, Spence is the A side, but he should split everything down the middle. He should do the lion's share of the work, but only get half the booty. What?
Somebody that wasn't fight. Bud ain't have a name on his resume at 147 till Sean Porter, and they had to force that fight. They forced Bud to fight Sean. Let's not act like he wanted to fight Sean. And I've had conversations, DD. I realized that these dudes, they only want him to fight EJ. I said, well, he should fight Sean Porter. He should try to get Danny Garcia. Like, no, we only want EJ. What are you dudes talking about? You can't get mad when EJ is scooping up, putting names on the board, selling these pay-per-views, and then he's going to ask for the lion's share. He's done all the work, like you said. They can't get mad at that. I bet you they didn't ask Pacquiao. Pacquiao's never been undisputed. They didn't ask Pacquiao to give Bud the lion's share. Oh, well, that's Pacquiao, though. But Pacquiao's never been undisputed. Y'all say accolades matter, not numbers. So if we're not putting Pacquiao's numbers into account, then is undisputed a bigger accomplishment?
The shit is really simple. And what's worse is that let's pretend we live in a fantasy universe real quick. If Errol Spence fucked around and went through Boots, fucking Ugas, Bute Estanios, all them niggas, all they would do is have Crawford fight all those people that Errol Spence already went through, and then claim Errol Spence ducked him to fight them niggas. So it's like, what the? So it's like there's no fucking point. There's no fucking point, man. Like Ugas busy. They trying to take Ugas out. Ugas gonna have to be sacrificed. That is what it is. Y'all two niggas huddle up so we can get it popping. Because this, like, hearing niggas bitch about Crawford's percentage is pathetic, bro. I'm tired. I'm tired of looking at it. Because every time we have this conversation, it just boils down to who's getting paid what. They're acting like you could put stock in Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford don't like you. Terrence Crawford does not know who you are. Like Errol Spence will, he has videos of him talking to Champ Side and other people. Who Bud talking to? Bud talking to Master Bob and fucking
Mark
uh
Creed.
yeah. Bud
See, the
don't like
thing
me.
is, Bud get in his feelings a lot when you criticize him, and he don't want to talk to the LDBC new media. He don't want to talk to those guys because they criticize him. And I'm a fan
And
of
he,
Bud, but I'm gonna keep it real.
thanks.
I can't rock with that. He gets so emotional about this shit,
That's what
and
he
then
was saying.
he'll cuss. He, he gets so disrespectful with EJ, and that's cool. That's all banter. But if you're not gonna take this fight, then what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, they always say, well, did Bud EJ send an offer? Would you send an offer to somebody that said no to show that you want the fight? Would you send an offer to somebody that was like, no, I ain't taking that? And it's like, oh, I'm the A side. Numbers don't lie. They don't.
Yeah, now Crawford talking about, oh, I ain't taking 60-40. Well, then ask your fans who the fuck is the A side then, because they keep saying Spence is the A side, but he doesn't deserve 50-50. I mean, but he doesn't deserve, yeah, they say Spence is the A side, but the fight should be 50-50. That doesn't make any motherfucking sense.
And when
That
you lay
doesn't make
out
no
facts
sense.
to them, they start talking about skills. Oh, well,
Yeah, the
Bud will do this.
eyes,
Bud will
the
do that. Well, tell Bud to say send the contract so we can get to that. Tell Bud
yeah,
to take the 40%. If he's this guy, he'll whoop EJ ass, then he'll get 60. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it real. Bud gonna get 40% both times. You know what I'm saying? Because he gonna get his ass whooped. But
yeah. And then people talk about the eye test. They're like, "Oh, well, I'm rating Crawford off the eye test." Okay, cool. Can't we rate Spence off the eye test? Can't we rate Boots off the eye test? Why does the eye test only apply to like all of Canelo's victims, Bud, and like that's basically it? Why can't we use the eye test for Boots? Why can't we
the
use the
thing,
eye test for Errol Spence?
this is how I know these dudes don't know boxing because they always say Earl is one dimensional.
I mean,
Earl
if
is
you're so good that you can master the fundamentals, do you really need something else? Because Triple G is pretty one dimensional, and he was getting off on pound for pound number one's ass. So
And
it's like,
Sean
what do
Porter
we?
said it himself. Canelo, I mean not Canelo, fuck Canelo. Spence is a chameleon. You done seen EJ fight on every style. Inside, he fights on the outside versus Mikey. He does mid range. He can do it all. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to see the fight. But I ain't going to sit up here and deny like the numbers make the fight. And if it was EJ in the position, I'd tell EJ, man, take that 40% and beat the shit out this Nebraska nigga. You know what I'm saying? And get to it. These dudes putting all these roadblocks in the fight. I don't think these dudes want the fight. Like, let's be real. They don't want the fight because they'll sit up here and say, oh, y'all shouldn't be talking about numbers. I don't care about splits and all this. But you're talking about Bud deserves 50-50. So you care about that. You care about it. Because if you didn't,
Yeah,
you just say, man, Bud, take the 40% and put the work on that nigga.
it's like Mayweather versus De La Hoya. Like we all knew Mayweather was gonna whoop De La Hoya ass, but Mayweather had to get in there and hand over all the A side privileges. He had to get in there, take the lamb share of the booty. He had to, he had to adhere to all his terms. Had to come up to a higher weight class and do all this bullshit. Went in there and whooped him, and then Mayweather set the terms from here on in. It's the same situation, bro. Go in there, whoop Errol Spence ass, and then you could be the man of everybody below 160 for all eternity, unless you fuck around and lose again. That's it. I don't understand why the fuck shit is so complicated.
Cause he
It's
the
not
ace.
complicated, man.
Dudes be funny as hell, but A side because he beat, what I'm saying, Victor Postal back in the day.
Like, and then they really think that there's something sound about that logic. Like, yep, I said what I said, and I'm walking off like, nigga, you sound crazy. Like, like you legitimately sound crazy.
These dudes talk in circles. It's always the same thing with them. They talk in circles, use the same talking points, and they get destroyed. And after they get destroyed, they name call. They want to fight. They get in their feelings.
That's funny. People calling you out to really fight. Some dude called out Art Man, like from Texas. Like some dude, I forgot what his name was, but he was like, "Oh yeah, I want to fucking fight you." I'm like, man, still couch potato ass down somewhere.
I
You
know.
know, he ain't really finna do that. And I've had multiple guys from fucking New York call me out. Now I even told them, I'm like, I'm in fucking Delaware. We can meet at the Delaware Dog Pound gym. They got that. Or I can go to the New York gym scene. I'm driving distance. What y'all want to do? And then it's always crickets. I'm like, that's what I thought, bro.
This dude said first of all, pause. He fly me out to Philly to fight him. I said, why don't you come to Texas since you want to smoke? He's like, nah, you come to Philly. Nigga, I'm not going to Philly. What's up?
He gonna fly you out. You gonna get flued out.
I ain't with that shit. I said, first of all, dude, pause.
Alec getting flued out.
And it's funny because these dudes, I don't know about Philadelphia, but these dudes just don't want to come to certain states where they know it's open carry, because they don't want to be able to try no shit. Because I'm in an open carry state, Allen in an open carry state, but meanwhile niggas want to hide in New York. I'm like, nah, come on, state over to Maryland where I can carry some shit in case you and your cousins decide to ambush me or some shit.
Oh yeah, I'm in Texas, so you know Texas. You know how we get down in Texas, you know. So
yeah, exactly. Want to fly you out to Philadelphia or some shit, so they can go ahead and jump you with 6 of them. And you ain't got no backup, nah, nigga.
Exactly, nigga. I don't need nobody to jump you. You can go wherever you want, and I'll put them hands on you.
But
It's
honestly,
not serious to me, bro. It's not. I'm not gonna fight over these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Bud don't care about these niggas, man.
He really don't. He doesn't go on any. None of their favorite fighters go on any of their channels. Fucking Bud, Canelo, Fury, Benavidez. Like, dude, these people do not want to be associated with y'all. That's not an accident. They know y'all exist on Twitter because they use your talking points, but they don't want to be openly associated with you. That's not an accident. They don't like you. You're fucking disgusting. And what's worse is y'all can't stay on y'all side of the internet and talk to each other, because the truth is y'all make each other fucking sick. Y'all make each other sick. Your lack of personality, your low self-esteem, your horrendous boxing logic, y'all all make each other fucking sick. Oh, yeah. That's why on Twitter you gotta bother us. On YouTube you gotta fucking bother us. And y'all barely even talk to each other when it's not talking shit about us. So it's like, just go on somewhere. Go on somewhere and fucking suck Canelo and Bud dick or whatever, or suck Tank dick or whatever y'all want to do. But just, stop trying to pretend to talk boxing.
And the dudes that say, oh, it ain't about race, but then they'll make it about race. You need to stop talking about race. Like boxing isn't based off nationality and tribalism and all these things. When you see a black heavyweight champion, it makes you feel some type of way. It makes a little boy growing up, it inspires you. It fills you with a sort of pride, because somebody that looks like you is the baddest man on the planet. One of the most recognizable men on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So, of course it is. It is, and
we can admit that.
Yeah,
we can admit that. They don't want to admit it. They feel the same exact way, but they don't want to admit it for some weird reason. They're like, I don't care about race. I just want the best people to win. It's like, all right, motherfucker.
But you don't want Lomachenko to fight Devin. You don't want Canelo to fight Jamal Charlo. You didn't want that. You don't want him to fight Andrade.
You don't want Boots to fight Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Facts. So it's not about, I want the best people to win. You want your people to win, but instead of saying it with your chest, you'll hide behind all these other things. I'll say it with my chest. D, I've said it on here multiple times. Art, I know y'all remember. I've said it multiple times. I'll go on anybody's channel and say it. I am biased towards black fighters. I support black fighters. I like all fighters, but when it comes to black fighters, I will support them, and I stand up for them, because they're our fighters. Because we're the ones that's going to lift them up. I will stop supporting black fighters when they have coon tendencies, when they disrespect us, when they talk down on us. But my 3 favorite fighters have never done that. Wilder hasn't done it. Tank hasn't done it. Earl Spence hasn't done it. Y'all favorite fighters do that. Y'all favorite fighters don't want to talk to y'all. Y'all favorite fighters don't like y'all.
And Shakur's starting to I'm not saying nothing bad about Shakur, but he's starting to kind of teeter back to where he was a year or two ago, and I'm like, bro, please stop, man. Like he's talking about UK fans are superior to US fans. I'm like, oh, bro, come on, don't do that. Don't do that to me,
Yeah,
bro. I don't want to cut you the fuck off, bro.
that's dumb. Jay Prince needs to chill down and say, man, be quiet, shut your mouth.
Yeah, he's starting to teeter back to that danger zone when he was talking about being Puerto Rican and shit. And I'm like, all right, bro, just like I had to kind of cut MAGA Mel off. I support him as a black person and I want to see him win, but outside of that, I'm kind of good. But I'm just like, relax, Shakur. He talking because, and also he has to understand context. The UK doesn't have that many fighters to even root for. The reality is, most of the UK's entire professional boxing stable is complete garbage. Like I said, I watch more British boxing than British boxing fans. I guarantee it. So they don't have much to cheer for. So that's why I putting some bullshit together, like fucking what's the name, Khan and and Brooke, like that shit's fire to them. I'm like, to me, that's garbage. That's literally gonna be Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. They keep bullshitting. If they keep bullshitting around, they're gonna fuck around and put the fight on ice, and then we gonna get it fucking 6 to 8 years from now at 154 when they're both old.
Yep.
So yeah. So to them, that's an exciting ass fight, and it's sold out. I'm like, yeah, because who else do they have over there? Like they got Tyson Fury. That's like it. They have those two bums and Tyson Fury. Keep in mind, those two dudes have already been slaughtered, and they're just looking for fucking paychecks. They're like,
They
well,
got
shit,
Josh
man.
Taylor too.
Well, Josh Taylor, they don't even count because Josh, like I said, I like Josh Taylor because Scottish people are cool. Scottish people, they kind of mess with black people some, but also they're like the niggas of the UK. They get treated like shit. So I kind of fuck with Scottish people somewhat.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
got
but they support their dudes. But at the end of the day, if you don't like, let's be real, the UK is just as racist as the United States. You know what I'm saying? So let's
Shit,
not act like
slightly more. They just gave Barbados their freedom this year.
stop it. Shit, it is what it is, though, man. Especially Corey, he needs to be aware of what he's talking about, man. Cause he be saying some dumbass shit. He'll say some dumb stuff, and it's like, bro, you're losing me, man.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. I think he needs to, bag up, come up off that, and capitalize on the fan base that he has here.
yeah, he's losing fans by the minute.
I mean, he hasn't lost me. I'm gonna support him regardless, but I'm just like you backslide.
I
You
mean,
backslide into where you were.
that statement was kind of dumb.
It's just uninformed. It's an uninformed statement.
Yeah, it's not real. And I'm like, why do you think that UK fighters always want to come over here? People talk about what Cambosos needed to be doing. Josh Taylor is from Scotland and he fought in the United States. Canelo hasn't fought in Mexico since what, 2011? like like people always say, oh, there's no money in the United States. I'm like, then why do people keep fucking coming here? Like this is like people keep fucking like it is what it is. Like no, like people. Oh, Cambosos deserves to fight in his own country. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, it's funny how the people who always talk about who deserves fights got real quiet when it was when people start talking about Lomachenko versus Cambosos because they know Lomachenko don't deserve jack shit. You got 2 L's, no belts. You have a Reggie belt that people hate Tank for owning and defending, and your latest win is off fucking Gatekeeper, but somehow you deserve an undisputed shot. The fuck is next? Tiafimo deserve Josh Taylor off a loss, just like Yildirim deserved Canelo off a loss. Like just utter like none of this shit make no sense.
No, it doesn't. But it's not supposed to make sense. It's whatever fits the narrative at the time.
Right? Yeah, it's just a bunch of corny shit. And people talking shit about Benavidez versus Lemieux, but I'm like, every time some people talk about some good fights, you got half of fucking boxing Twitter and the general public like, nah, I don't want to see those fights. But then they get mad when shit like Lemieux versus Benavidez get made. What the fuck is people supposed to do? Y'all don't seem to want good fights, so here's some shitty ones, and then y'all still complain. Like, what do you want?
Exactly. They just want their fighters on top with no resistance. That's why they're able to take all these PEDs and duck whoever and duck any type of challenges and get away with the bare minimum.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's fucking bullshit. I mean, personally, and it's funny because people don't want to admit it, but outside of Jacobs, Lemieux was the only person that BJS and Triple G had even fought, and we all know how Lemieux do. Shit, but yeah, but it's a goddamn shame. Well, let's see what's going on in the chat. I think Alan accidentally dropped off. Lemieux can fight. I agree. Lemieux can fight. And JK production, Canelo could do some damage at 175 if he had the courage. If he had an ounce of courage. But Lemieux's not the best. I don't think he's gonna be super highly rated. But he can punch. He loops his shots pretty well. And David Benavidez has shown that if you actually fight a fight like you're not scared of him, you can kind of get off on him a little bit. You can get some shots off. So we'll see. I mean, do I think Lemieux's going to use? Yeah, I don't think he has what it takes to beat any top guys as his career has fucking shown. Because who the fuck is his best win? Like, this man has lost to motherfuckers that have gotten folded by Charlo Jr. So it's like, we just got to see it. We just gotta see it.
I don't know, but shit, I'm about to end this live. We can do this tomorrow, right when the fight start.
All right, for sure. Thanks for having me on. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh shit, he's in the live later.